Crazy.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are, like, almost all of my friends, Matt, Vincent, Dan, Hannah, Kara, Olive, and Ari. So the entirety of Mosaic Team 5 back around the table. And we have some guests as well, with Vincent and Hannah rejoining us as Bruin and Kit, respectively. So we're going to play some Starfinder, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, we have a social media at AlbronRPG. Hello, Talon. That is Instagram. You can see all the different encounter maps and various handouts and things like that. Right now on the table, there's just some minis, but occasionally there are encounter maps, and you can see those in greater detail at AlbronRPG. We have a YouTube as well, exact same name, and you can see every single session that has ever been played. That is just a little bit shy of 500 hours worth of content. It's a lot of stuff. So from about 2019 on, at least one weekly session is at AlbronRPG on YouTube. We also have a website, albronrpg.com, and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to be playing our original D&D campaign, Courts of Everest. So with all of that, it is time for tonight's session of Mosaic Team 5. Mosaic Team 5. Last we played, lasers flashed and music pulsed as you found yourselves beset by Portis Tambo, a heavily armored USR veteran, and head programmer Brigitte, who created the Fantasy Quest game that has trapped thousands willingly within its virtual world for over a decade. Shade, your android mechanic, was downed, along with the fragile Yosoki Gibbs, who was in an especially perilous position, with Echo shooting wide in the narrow confines. Bubbles, you found yourself penned in, and Spice badly hurt. Everything was looking very grim for Mosaic Team 5. However, a pair of PLEA agents heard the sounds of very real gunshots coming up from the parking garage's artificial halls, responded to the laser tag arena to a very confusing scene. Bruin, as a senior agent, you directed Kit, who is a brand new agent on their very first assignment, to save Bubbles and his friends, and then dashed into the artificial fog and lasers with no further explanation, already using your magic to craft a healing robot. Kit, after initially forgetting to turn off the safety, you managed to track Portis and used your custom rifle to lock them down. The tides began to shift, and Brigitte grabbed Shade's unconscious body to use as a shield, and a horrifically bad attempt at grabbing Portis from Spice resulted in Spice becoming a human shield as well.
Yeah.
They attempted to make their way to the stairwell. Brigitte made it through before being headed off by a rocket-propelled Bubbles and Echo. She dropped Shade's body and fled back, running quickly out of options, with Echo and Bubbles just abandoning their captain's unconscious body in the stairwell to slide down the last 5 steps.
That's what does. Yeah.
Spice was freed by the combined might of Mosaic Team 5 and the PLEA officers, who closed in from the other side, killing Portis, who used one of their last actions to throw grenades that resulted in the unfortunate shredding of Potato Blue's corpse. Brigitte ran for something beneath the fake ship, with Echo following, and an all-out dash. Bruin managed to place Brigitte in cuffs, resulting in the 3rd ever arrest for Mosaic Team 5.
Whoa! Nice. Not even my Mosaic Team 5.
Not a good track record for Mosaic Team 5.
Cuffs on her.
As soon as when you hear dead ore, the ore doesn't matter. No, it's dead. That's easier. Meanwhile, Echo dropped down into the secret room Brigitte had exposed to the group and found a massively powerful server running all of Fantasy Quest upon it. Echo, upon interacting with it, you lost consciousness and awoke within the data of the system itself. But having entered through the server proper, found yourself in the administrative terminal. Here, Echo, you existed mostly alone, and you were the only one who could see the entirety of this world before you. Before you saw items, spells, and save files. This server housed 12 years of people's memories and their real-to-them lives, but more importantly, it connected to 13,221 lives currently, and a failure to interact with this server could result in a sudden and violent end to all of their lives. So, Echo, that is where we begin the scene.
Hi.
Quick tone shift.
Yeah, dire.
No pressure.
Dun, dun, dun. I like that you guys are matching.
Did you already do
fundamentally.
the roll?
Mm.
Oh, I didn't remember the actual
They're always matching.
roll happening. Oh no.
What?
Echo. You stand at the apex of an eternity of data. Beneath your feet, beneath your hands, you can feel the pulse of thousands of minds thinking millions of thoughts together, creating a shared reality within the Fantasy Quest server. Directly beneath your digital fingertips is a node that reads, headset bombs. And you just activated it. A mere thought from you activating and deactivating a million points of light stored in silicon, silver, and gold. And with a 26, the node opens up, and you can see data on the other side. No minds have exploded yet. Echo, suddenly, one of the 3 purged circles fills red. And you can see circles kind of reflect this red light that drifts into the air, and the message reads, warning, authorization failure. 2 authentication failures remain before full purge. For the rest of you, standing outside within this kind of laser tag arena, the music has gone silent. All of the sound effects have died down. There is just white light coming from the electronics and the kind of crackling static of Echo not responding to any of you. What would you all like to do?
Are we still downed, or do I auto CPR?
So Gibbs is still, so Gibbs is up, and Gibbs' last thing to do when Gibbs was brought back by your junk bot was run into the kind of alley. So actually, let's start there. Gibbs, you explode into the stairwell. You have no idea what's going on. There was lights, there was lasers, there was explosions, and then all at once, it went silent, and you just heard Echo's voice from every single electronic, from your communicator, from any like little kind of gadget that you have on you, just say, hello. And then you kind of explode into the stairwell. You can see Shade, kind of unconscious, but still breathing.
Oh.
I don't breathe. I'm an android.
Unconscious, but still living. Unless you would prefer not to.
Standby light.
Yeah.
I will drag Shade to the lifelink closest to me. So I'll find whatever ally is closest in proximity and start making my way towards that.
Okay, Bubbles is probably the closest by a little bit.
I would probably actually start heading because I want to pick up on Shade. So
Okay.
I'd probably meet them a little bit halfway.
Can I request that you lean in this direction when you do that?
So heavy, weighs so much, so fast,
Gibbs, let me.
Auto CPR
so annoying, so loud.
for a resolve point.
So as all of this is happening, Gibbs, you the door like screeches open and echoes in this place, and you can see like Bubbles running towards you, and Shade, you automatically come to spending one of those resolve points, and you could hear Gibbs like yanking you forward. It's significantly quieter than you remember. There's no artificial sound. You still hear the of like smoke and artificial fog being pumped in, but it is just white light instead of the flashing rainbow that you saw before, and
Why
Gibbs
so
is just
greasy?
lugging you
Why?
across the ground.
As Shade is reviving, Bubs is going to go over to lend Gibbs a hand.
Okay.
And as he's going over and he's leaning over close to both of them, he's going to whisper, Hunter escaped. I'm trying to frame Brigitte as the Hulk of the Husk. We're with 2 PLA officers. They believe it so far. I think Hunter escaped with Emma, I'm not sure.
And one of the things that you notice, especially, I would say, Shade and Gibbs, you as you bust out of this door, is that it is especially cold. And actually, Shade, make a perception check.
25.
When you are unconscious, the only thing that you could really remember after getting hit by this blast of fire from Portos Tambo is briefly kind of being thrown into a stairwell. You heard a brief conversation. You could hear like the murmur of echo and bubbles, and then they ran off and you kind of felt yourself slide down. A couple minutes passed. You could hear explosions and gunfire, and then you hear up above this creak of metal as a door opens, and the temperature plummets, and you just go unconscious. But waking up here, a little chillier than you remember, but not that same kind of frost.
I want to take stock of what is going on and whisper calm to the whole crew. Status report.
I just wink at Bubs as I wipe my hands on my little vesty vest.
I think I'll just relay the information that I did to Gibbs to Shade.
Okay. So you get a status report.
And Bubs doesn't kind of know what's going on with Echo. He has like an idea, so he's not really gonna.
Getting to my feet.
You don't answer your communicator.
Do statuses show largely good or like?
I mean, not really. I would say about half your party is looking not great. I mean, Shade is up. I believe Shade has 18 health.
I put myself at 1, but yeah, I had 18.
Okay, yeah. So, not looking great are many of your party. You look around, and they were not lifelink to you, I don't believe, but Potato Blue. You see Potato Blue up all over the place. I mean, just kind of spread out across elements of this laser tag arena. There is scraps of fur. You see the brightly colored, like neon green tutu just shredded across. No longer with you.
Bubs is gonna like reach out a hand to Gibbs' shoulder. I'm sorry. I don't know how we're gonna break this to Slinky.
Same way I did for Chip, I guess. I'm getting used to this.
Echo, Spice, come in.
Echo receives the initial one and just says, I believe I have made a critical error.
All of a sudden, Shade and Gibbs, you hear through every electronic Echo's voice, just like 1,000 voices all at once.
Oh, it's echoing in here!
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so when this happens, Kit, who is standing at the doorway to the deadly D&D game, watching it snow with Ruin, goes, Boss, hey boss, did you hear that?
Yeah.
The critical error, maybe we should go back.
Yeah, we should.
Okay, and she's still got her gun doing this thing,
Okay.
but she turns back and starts to gingerly walk back toward where she knows Echo is.
Okay. You look
so you're
around. Make a
aware,
perception
Ruffy.
check.
I don't know if I can trust this team. They're leaving something out. We need to watch our back against them. There's something fishy going on with this group.
Okay, boss, I watch your back, you watch mine, right? Okay.
Kit, make a perception check. This is as you kind of look through the scope and take a quick glance up through this ramp where the snow is coming down. You can see there are like elements of the bright lights from the Laser Monster Card Arena, or sorry, not from the Laser Monster Card Arena, from the sort of Dance Dance Revolution like game.
I got a 17, keeping with my track of rolling 2s and 3s.
There you go.
Wow.
All that stuff is still up there, just like you left it, but with snow. You make your way.
Yeah, I want to, having gotten that message from Echo, I want to ping Echo again and ask for their coordinates and start making my way there to see if I can help in some way.
Okay, no problem. You shake off elements of the damage as best
And
you can.
trying to take stock still of what the fuck happened in the 12 seconds that I was unconscious.
The equations start flying. And it's difficult. I mean, you look around. First of all, Portos Tambo, as you kind of get to the area where you can see now there is a fake ship, like resin cast that has been broken in half, and there is a huge flood of blinding white light that is coming out from underneath. And as you get around, you can see there are a bunch of these individuals all kind of gathered around, members of your team, but you also see now coming from the ramp, there are 2 PLEA agents dressed in the white uniforms of the security of Prime Station. You do not see Potato Blue, probably from the way that the direction that you were coming in.
Potato Blue was already dead when I had gone down.
Okay, yeah.
But I didn't know that
She got
Blue
exploded.
got
Yeah.
Gibbs is gonna be
secondarily
about that. Fetching memorabilia
Okay.
from the carnage.
Yeah, make an investigation or perception check, whichever one exists in Starfinder. I
Perception.
forget.
Ooh, I got 17 on the die. Plus 14 is 31.
Okay. Going through, there's not a whole lot. You would imagine probably when this person was bound and tied up, a lot was taken off. And so I think with that, what you really kind of come up with is any belongings that Potato Blue had, probably somewhere else.
Can I find them?
Your eyes kind of wander over and you see in, I believe, in Bubbles' possession is Brigitte, the head programmer who is currently under arrest, not dead, which is, yeah, I know. For Mosaic Team 5, that is called growth. But you guys...
You're speaking kind of soon.
We still gotta turn it in.
but Gibbs doesn't know that.
Right. I'm like, whoa.
Guys,
Yeah.
we did
You see Bubbles holding somebody in cuffs and
Oh.
Bubbles did a great job. But
Pat, pat, pat. Pat,
Shade,
pat,
the other thing that you notice kind of as you are rounding this and taking stock of everything that's happening is Brigitte is in cuffs, alive, under arrest, not dead, and so...
And unconscious.
And unconscious, that's true. And so that kind of seems to be what's happening. At the moment combat is done.
Have we walked up?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Are you the other 2 members of Mosaic Team 5?
You see Gibbs
Did you
just
fall
going
down
towards
the stairs?
Brigitte.
Yeah.
Are you going to let Gibbs just plunder this
I
person?
want to whisper calm to the team.
Which person is she plundering?
Blaze Jet.
Regroup.
Brigitte.
Brigitte.
Are you the healer of the group?
Yeah. Can I get a description of y'all? Sorry. I didn't watch last session.
So, Bruin is a short dwarf. Well, a dwarf, which
Yeah.
is shorter than all of y'all, wearing a trench coat. He looks old and grizzled, has a beard, and not holding anything in his hand.
We are eye level, you and I.
Oh,
Okay. And then Kit is somehow shorter than Bruin. Was a very funny joke that we came up with. And she's a halfling, and she is very, very young looking, like very baby faced. And she seems really nervous, and she has this long gun, which is almost comically large. And despite her nerves, she's handling it expertly.
Nice. Yep. That's me.
can you wait this? Wait.
It's
don't think
hard.
my
So as you're talking to Gibbs, they're responding, but their eyes really on this person, and they're ripping open pockets, and not, when I say ripping open, not like they're investigating. You hear as they rip the fabric itself
Bubs
to
is
get into
gonna
some
be like,
elements.
And it's nose into the hole that I've now made, sniffing around looking for the thing that I want.
Yeah, and you can see there's blood on their paw, but they just kind of wipe it off behind them on their fur.
I am filthy.
This is at first you thought oh man, in the heat of battle, they got covered in trash. You're starting to get the sense that this person probably hasn't showered, period. But Gibbs, as you are looking through and you kind of half speak to this PLEA agent, you do find a couple of things. First, you find a silver digitized pistol. This is a little ring that you had seen, and there is one on Portis's body as well, I think people had seen. But this is a tiny little ring that can fit on the hand and serve also as a pistol. Very limited ammunition. These are super high tech. There is also a large number of things kind of really implemented into the structure of her body itself. Make a medicine check because you're
Cool.
Gibbs the medical
I'm looking
officer.
for the USB flash drive she uses to open doors.
Sure.
Medicine is 20 by default, plus 10 is 30.
You also note that there is no kind of flash drive to open doors, but you do notice that there are subdermal implants that probably serve a similar function in radius. And so as she approaches the doors, they probably unlock for her. In places that she frequents, you would be able to observe technology that would need to be added to things to make that work. So if you found certain sensors attached to things, you could find things that were like manipulated by her, basically. You also find a set of Blaze Ignerso knuckles.
Wow.
These are like brass knuckles. They fit around the hands. They come in a set, and they have an inlaid kind of element that looks like ceramic, but you can tell Gibbs will heat up white hot.
Right. I will kind of list the findings as I do it. Throw the silver digitized pistol into my Starfinder backpack, hold out the knuckles for Bubs, and then kind of be like,
Shay,
I need her hand to open doors.
when you have requested my coordinates, do you mean my physical body or my consciousness? I can provide coordinates for where I last saw my physical body.
Are we all hearing this or just?
No, this is.
Okay.
I'm gonna whisper calm, send the coordinates out. Team regroup at Echo's coordinates.
So you guys all see like your coordinates basically pop up. Bubbles, it's like 3 steps behind you. But yeah.
As
Then I
we're,
go over to Echo.
as we're doing that, I'm gonna try to say to Gibbs and Spice, do you guys have anything to keep them asleep? I know they can teleport, and I just don't want them to do that when they wake up again.
I probably can. Oh yeah, I will.
I have something.
So I have the spell fatigue, but that is redundant with what their current status is. I would assume.
You'd
but
imagine.
it would make them.
Well, no,
It means if they woke up, they would.
Mostly cybernetic, right?
Doesn't matter.
Can I like disable them in some
Oh.
way?
Well, yes. I
I
mean,
mean, like functionally,
That
so
is
that they
called-
can't teleport away.
Murder.
so to put that into kind of context, when you think about the way that this person is mostly cybernetic, that would be kind of like cutting off somebody's hand to make sure that they can't
With
open
my,
a door.
Like implant glitch. Can I do that?
It's like cutting off the nerves that operate somebody's hand so they can't open a door. It's very serious is what I'm saying. So yes, you can, but that is like invasive of somebody's body.
I meant more just like the actual effect where I can like take control of like eyes or something. Is there?
Would that
I guess
be like
is
taking
there
control
is
of the
there a
pacemaker?
cybernetic piece
Yeah.
that is
Oh yeah,
allowing
absolutely. There are cybernetic.
Brigitte to do specifically the teleporting, or is that
No.
something?
And I would say Gibbs, from what you saw, that's certainly magic.
Okay.
Oh, it's magic.
And if like even if like it like keeps them asleep and like it's like the same effect that you have. I mean, as long as it keeps them asleep and you just keep casting.
Hold up. First, can you wake this person up? I think there is information that we need right now from them.
No, we cannot wake them up.
No.
I don't think you all understand the
I don't think
situation
you
that we're in.
understand. Waking up Emma, she will be able to teleport out.
This is Brigitte.
This is Brigitte.
Brigitte.
Who's Emma?
That little
Okay. We have a member of your team, what is hooked into what I believe the admin portal for Fantasy Quest. One of the nodes requires a password. None of you bozos look like you know the password.
I have not seen this system yet.
So
Why would, if we woke them up, why would they give us the password? Why would they not just kill us outright? Or like what leverage do you have when I wake this person up that's gonna help you get the password from them? We've done horrible things to people who we've had under restraints, and it's been awful the entire time. So
Bubs.
not really.
Sorry, you've done what?
you've done. Write that down.
You watch as
Kip, write that down.
Gibbs goes up to the police.
and she writes down, maybe torturers.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Gibbs is just, in her culture, she believes cleaning people is horrible, and I tend to, after the battle, I like to clean up the blood and
Bubs.
stuff.
Make a deception. Well, make a deception
true.
check.
It's true.
Take a +8 conditional modifier when you kind of add in that I like to clean up the blood afterwards. There's definitely been battles where you've kind of stuck around for just a heartbeat to see if maybe you could clean.
19 plus 8 plus
27.
Okay.
He does this every time.
19 plus 8 is 27 plus
35.
7, 35.
This earnest young man is sitting here telling you, like, you know, this, and you look over at Gibbs, and filthy. You see the blood is like now flaking off the fur, but there are elements in there that are almost certainly older than the blood that she put in. It's not the same blood, it's from a different battle. And like it, I mean, gross. And so probably true, like, yeah, what Gibbs is talking about is like cleaning people. But
Okay, well, Kit's
let me
biggest
tell you
fear
what is
has-
at
All
risk.
due respect, officers. The situation right now is more dire than this prisoner. Allow me to confer with my teammate. We may be able to alleviate this situation without waking the prisoner.
But
Waking will be
we can also get
inadvisable.
you some more information in a different way if you want. They're got implants.
This is what I think we need. We just need a password for the console that your teammate is in, because
yeah, and maybe they
the
ran
lives of everyone connected to this game is at risk.
and maybe they've written it down in this locker over here
Huh?
that's gonna open with their hand, and maybe it's written underneath the table. Like, we can look around for some of that stuff without waking this person up, my friend.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So help me carry Bubbles, this lady, to the doors that have the sensors, and then you can get some information, and that we'll check that off, and then you can always wake them up later.
Okay, but I mean, if you do that, I'm coming with you.
I'm looking for memorabilia for this sad soul right here.
Speaking of which, is that a cultural thing too? Taking all the stuff out of it? I mean, I've got evidence bags.
I don't need that. I've got, and I pull out like a chips bag that's like, you know, Doritos. I like turn it over and I'm like,
and then all
Out
of a
comes
sudden,
the notebook
roll
again.
a D100.
47.
47. With the 47, there's just like dirt that comes out. You see a couple loose seeds, and like Gibbs, you had meant to plant these earlier but got distracted, and like all kinds of stuff just coming out of these bags. But no problem. Perfect for carrying some important memorabilia.
Okay.
Respectful.
I'll help Gibbs.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, it's a
Love
respectful
this.
Doritos bag, not a sponsor. So, Echo.
Is it possible to disable the headset bomb node without turning off the life support? Because we've been talking about like opening and closing nodes,
Yeah.
and the headset bomb node is in front of the life support node.
Yeah.
Is this a thing that is possible?
Yeah.
So I can disable the headset bombs.
So
but keep
in
life support running.
in doing that check, you have the capability now to leave that node in an open state, a closed state, or a neutral state. Whichever one that you leave, when you save this system, that will go into effect. So it's up to you. Right now, you can choose if you want to disable it or not. Sort of, as long as you can really think about which one of those states means disable.
Which state was it originally in?
Neutral.
Everything was in neutral when she went in, right?
Oh boy.
Neutral is not active or open. Keep on going through.
Okay.
Again, through to life support.
So you go through to life support, and in doing so, give me just a second, pull up my map here. You push through this node, and there is no further countermeasure. You access a node that is just data. And in here, there are different functions that you could control. One of these functions that you see almost immediately that catches your eye up at the top is wake up procedure. And you would imagine this is something that can probably almost force people to wake up, although the both the name of it and the kind of cascading directories that are attached to it would lead you to suggest that it's not a violent procedure by any means. This is probably a way of doing this in a planned manner. Looking into the life support system, you can also see make a sense motive check.
androids.
Sorry.
Why you gotta tip my hand like that, man? This is why you never sit next to Echo. This is a 14.
14.
I
With
sit
the
next to
14.
Billy in the other game. What do you say?
Echo rolls different than Billy.
Fair.
So hard to really tell. You're reading in binary, this language that's been lost for a very long time and really nobody uses. And so you're kind of like translating it through 2 steps already. And so it's going slowly, and it's hard to really tell why somebody would do this. But one of the other functions that you could do is select parameters that are really, as you see them, they're kind of, at first they jump out to you as sort of arbitrary, but they're things like heart rate, they're things like height, they're things like mass index. And this seems to be like a way in which you could selectively shut off or shunt out people. And finally, one of the things that's most peculiar about this is that there's a huge amount of data in here. Unlike just the videos and pictures and memories that people have stored, which is tremendous. I mean, that's, you know, the matrix level computing power to have those things. Even just this data is taking up a lot, which means I would say with that check, all of it has been saved. All 12 years of these heart rates and all that kind of stuff, that's here for whatever reason. And that's almost certainly not by accident. But with the 14, hard to tell why that might be.
Part of VR deep dive is not necessarily a transference of consciousness, but a transference of awareness. If I wake these people up, am I just gonna wake up a bunch of vegetables?
Make a medicine check. Life sciences check, sorry.
There's medicine.
Yeah, but I think for Echo, life
Yeah.
sciences is kind of a little bit more appropriate for this.
No, not medicine?
Not medicine, no. You're not really trained in that way.
Okay, well, thank you. If it were medicine, it'd be better, but it's an 18.
An 18, okay. Yeah, of course you could. I mean, that does involve setting the correct parameters here and making sure that you do it right. And you're like 80% sure that you could do that perfectly. The problem is, in being here for so long, there's a few people that have become medically frail from just being here. And so it would be nearly impossible to boot people out of their life and have them maintain that connection if they're especially weakened.
You can't ask me that.
You, what is your name?
I'm Captain Shade of Mosaic Team 5.
You're the captain?
Yes.
Have you ordered your crewmate, the one who just messaged all of us that they've made a terrible mistake, to stop what she's doing?
I'm in the process of communicating with her as we speak.
Very good. Kid, I'm going downstairs to review the interface as well. And I start going down to the server room.
As you start to go down to the server room, Bruin, your PLEA issued communicator begins to ring.
Beep, 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 beep.
The answer is all real complicated.
Each person is different.
Everyone else hears that, I'm like, my niece made that.
Ringtones are still customizable. I love that. But in 2250, it's not that the niece made the ringtone, it's that they made the whole communicator. So it's kind of like, you know, it's like a macaroni communicator.
Also, don't you swap that out.
So you can see on the communicator, let me shift the tone to be a little bit less ominous, because it's not quite this ominous of a person.
It's a dick pic.
Lieutenant Pegasus. One second here.
Oh.
Lieutenant Pegasus.
It's a big dick pic.
We had the Yu-Gi-Oh episode a while ago. Yeah, with that, yeah.
Come in, you.
You see Lieutenant Pegasus, one of the team leaders that is on the task force, one of 3, that is contacting you. So you pick up?
Yeah.
Okay. So you pick up, and instantly you can see this face kind of swim into view. Dyed green hair, but everything else is very like what you would imagine as traditional military. It's a human with very cropped hair, and they look at you and they just say, Sergeant Bruin reported in. Have you managed to find anything? We're losing touch with all of our patrols. You're the last one that we managed to raise.
Do I hear this as well?
This is just on Bruin's communicator.
Status
This is for the
report. We've
officers.
encountered Bounty Team Mosaic Team 5, encountering who they claim to be the Hulk, which is, I understand to be their bounty. However, we've run into... I think I've gotten
The
information.
Hulk of the Husk?
Yes.
Can you confirm that they have this individual?
They have the individual. Can you send me... Although something about it doesn't seem right. Can you send me information how I can identify it to confirm its identity as the Hulk?
Well, you need to extract them. We can confirm it then.
Okay.
But you're going to need to do it alone. We've had a lot of problems ever since we went in. We went in with 120 people, but it wasn't enough. We have 2 additional riot patrol squads that were dispatched to take sectors A5, B5, and 6. There's a SWAT team and a patrol unit that are in pursuit of a relic runner that took an agent out while they were coming in. There's an old prime tactical growler that somebody has, and they're running around strafing the property line of the Soul Set steps. It's a mess out there, and every single patrol that we sent out, aside from yours, isn't communicating back. So if you're going to get out of there, my recommendation is is it Mosaic Team 2?
5.
Take Mosaic Team 5. See if you can get them to help you. I'm sending you coordinates to the last known place of these patrols. If you can find them, maybe we can get answers as to what's happening out there.
What if Mosaic Team 5 is uncooperative to assisting us?
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion
This
check.
side, like, do
Yes.
I hear sitting?
If we can all hear this, I have crept up behind Bruin, and since I'm not tall enough to look over his shoulder, her little head just kind of peeks around. Boss,
Is it called persuasion?
It's called diplomacy.
Diplomacy, sorry.
All right. All right.
we're on the D&D crew normally, it's fine.
24.
24. You see another notification pop up, and it's from your kind of financial application, and they say, this is such an important mission. We're going to bring out the big guns here, and we're going to authorize you to use all of our discretionary spending to recruit them. This is 5,000 credits, so make sure that they. So make sure that you use it wisely. Guys, this is like the federal government. They don't have a lot of money.
This is a library. And
So-
like,
He says, don't offer all 5,000 to start. Try to start off with maybe half, but you can use the full amount if you need to. Recruit them. This is a lot for a single mission, but you can spend the full amount, and we'll try to get this Hulk of the Husk out. More importantly, if you could find that patrol car. The last patrol said that they saw flashing lights.
I have a lead on the patrol car. Mosaic Team 5 gave me where I believe the location of the car.
Well, we'll send you the
Is the
last
mission
location that
still
we
to
have
retrieve
too.
the car, or do you want us to bring them back in with the Hulk?
So suddenly there's another blip on your communicator. They send you the last known location of the patrol. And when you put it next to the 3-layer map that Bubbles gave you, it really lines up very closely with where this little kind of haphazard map that Gibbs added on had been, and where Gibbs had seen a bunch of flashing lights just a little south of Glowgrave. But those two things seem to line up pretty closely. And sorry, you said... Somebody said something?
Oh, one more thing that's really important to know. I believe that we are at the administration console for the game Fantasy Quest.
Okay, we really don't have time for games. You need to get them out of here.
Officer Bruin,
Noted.
perhaps we could be of assistance.
Did you hear that conversation?
the entire thing.
Only your
Very
half.
good.
It's really only half of it. Boss, why didn't you tell him about the snow?
I have a suspicion that the locations that your teammates are after has something to do with the Zon-Kuthon cultists we encountered earlier.
They were super scary. Door, please.
However, this situation is unrelated.
So which doors are you bringing this
Okay,
person
so you told
towards?
me I could like look for sensors. I'm gonna think. Okay, there's a few places people hide things.
Yeah.
And it's like places that are inconvenient to access, places that are gross and people wouldn't want to access. Like there's a list of things where people are likely to hide things. So I go through that list in my head and I'm gonna try and like look for sensors that this door are blocked from me normally.
So you already know that there's a VIP area hidden in this laser tag arena, and one of your companions has a little VIP pass. And so that might be a place to look.
Can I have that? Can I borrow it? Can you come with me? Right here. Right here.
Where the fuck are you?
I don't know, scampering around everywhere.
Like under like an excited dog. So yeah, for anybody who hasn't really heard the description of Gibbs is a tiny little Yosoki who is mangy, like a little rat person. I'm always imagining that their hands and feet are especially scaly. The fur is kind of patchy in places. There's a lot of piercings going on, and not all of them are infected, but some are. They are wearing a cargo vest with a absurd number of pockets. In fact, I would venture to say that they are wearing a cargo. Like, it's really just pockets.
Cargo pockets.
Yeah, cargo
Pockets
pockets.
stitched together in the shape of a vest.
Basically, at this point, yeah. And there are like, when you open it up, it's like a little library where you can like pull them across, like poster frames. But lots of different things, and just garbage all over the place. Just sticky. They look like a small child at the end of a was it Chuck E. Cheese adventure.
So like as
Non-sponsored.
Gibbs is like walking to one way, she like remembers the badge and like point turns and is like locks eyes and it's like, I need you.
Okay, well, you lock eyes with Spice, and so Echo's like whatever plugged into the console,
Shit.
and Spice is sitting up on the table, just like, you see her literally struggling so hard for breath because she's dying.
Oh shit.
And also, worth noting, and also on the other half of the spectrum, just a half a dose of cocaine.
Oh yeah, like her heart's beating, she's sweating, she's like coming down from so much shit.
Oh shit, oh no.
Leverage the life support systems.
Patch,
Am I-
patch.
Like able to help Echo.
So very interestingly, you can communicate with Echo, and so verbally, yes. However, when you try to do what you normally do, kind of going in and seeing things through Echo's eyes, which is something that you've been able to do in the past, especially in operative mode, you can't do that.
I was trying to get into the computer.
No.
Okay.
Are you touching the computer?
I don't need to.
Are you gonna though?
'Cause I can
So my question that I asked you, are you physically making contact with the computer?
No.
Okay. So no, there is no wireless way to access this.
Okay.
So I see him looking at the computer, right?
Yeah.
Captain Shade, here, let me assist, and I will cast the thingy.
This is a high level spell, guys, in Starfinder.
I'll like bring up my who's the beep boop beep boop beep holographic interface, and with that, like I can see this and show him this, right?
Yeah, so you can see now, as Bruin pulls out their little homemade communicator, they press a bunch of the macaroni buttons. You can now see what Echo sees, flickering, not as sharply, but you can see like this strange white space that serves as it, and you're seeing it the same way that Echo does, which is also not normal. You're used to seeing data in a very different way, and so this is a little bit disconcerting almost. It's like all the numbers still add up the right way, but they're lined up wrong. But as you look, you can still see some of these nodes and connections swim into place, and so you can visualize this. But it doesn't seem like even using wireless hack, you can manipulate these directly.
Is this now different since I haven't brought it up since, and I know that like
You can see the
Echo has
one
made some
red,
changes.
that one red glow.
do
I would
see
say
these turned on or off or anything? Because I know that
make a computers check. You see things kind of glowing
And
off
is
in the
that a
distance.
spell?
What Vincent's doing, yes.
Okay.
May I also make a computer's check to see what's going on with
Yeah.
this?
Absolutely.
And in case it helps, I have. Where is. Alright.
34.
Okay.
I have comprehend languages running. So as I bring this up,
that work for
Bruin has full body tattoos, and you'll see them start to light up as he starts reading this.
Yeah. And so, like, the binary kind of, and actually, yeah, so
Too old for you.
while everybody else has received translations, when it comes up, it looks like just this old language.
The way you're
for
looking
you,
at him makes.
This is like one of the most primitive computer languages that you've ever seen. It's so primitive that you don't even really have the like directories that you would need to cross-check it. You would need to like go and you know do some additional like steps to really translate this.
Download some files off of GitHub.
You have to go to like a real sketchy website, yeah. But what you can put together, you can definitely put together that this is the mainframe for a game, and the amount of data here is staggering. This is several orders of magnitude more than all of the data that exists on real world Earth right now. We're measuring data in yottabytes, not in terabytes or petabytes or anything so insubstantial like that. And so you are looking at probably the largest system that you've ever seen. This is more computing power, at least, than you're aware of on your entire ship, on any capital ship that you've been on. It's a staggering processor, and it's hooked up to many other things. And at the moment, Echo has basically kicked the door open to the entire infosphere from the server, and it is manipulating elements beyond.
What does the 28 tell me? Does it tell me anything more on that?
With the 28, as you look at this, you're not seeing the same images that Echo and Shade are seeing. So you're seeing, like the Matrix, like the little letters and things coming down. You're seeing a lot of that, and almost like that's the static on a TV. Every now and then you swear you see like a hand, a little corner of something sharp, but you're not really seeing a lot. With a 28, that's high enough that you can kind of read the code itself, and so you're kind of not seeing as richly, but you're still understanding all this. You're doing a lot of, in D&D terms, you are a wizard and they are sorcerers. This just comes to them, and you're able to do all this, but it just takes a little longer.
Nerd.
I would like to assist Echo in disabling the headset bombs, or basically whatever Echo is trying to do. I'd like to assist,
Okay.
seeing that they are in the life support node.
Okay.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Now that I'm here, and
I am mostly concerned that if I were to activate the wake up protocol, that I would be waking up multiple individuals without their consciousness.
Do I hear that? Does everyone hear that?
I'm using the
whisper
communicator.
Okay, so
not
then,
whisper
yes.
just communicator.
Everybody hears this. Everybody in this entire arcade hears this, yeah.
Echo's really not aware that everyone can hear everything.
Kit 100% starts hyperventilating.
Can't you just match up
Can.
the consciousness to the bodies with the heart rates? And if the heart rates are not matching?
How do you say that?
To the whisper comm? To the comm? To the I don't know, Gibbs is gonna
Are you saying it out loud or?
to
Gibbs is like pressing the button, also leaning over
is
to like an
very
arcade
important.
cat.
But like also looking at Echo, being
Yeah.
like,
Can't
sure
you
where to
can't you
talk
just
to.
do the thing that seems really easy when I say it out loud, but not a clue how you're gonna do it in real life?
Gibbs.
I am not a medical officer.
Can't you just match the consciousnesses to the heart rates?
Gibbs.
Don't they have a user ID that would?
Please assist Spice.
I'm giving
She's
her.
injured.
I am in need of advice from my medical personnel. I do not understand the protocols in place here.
Are there any?
I check the protocols.
No. So at the moment, you've seen what you can see. And Shade, it's frustrating because you're used to being able to manipulate data. When Echo went in, it's like Echo is filling the entirety of that space that is left over. This terminal has space for one consciousness within it. The amount of data that has one person. If you could figure out a way to shunt Echo out, you would be able to take their place.
I want to do that.
But you can communicate with Echo, and so if there are verbal things that you want to help with, you can do that.
Is it possible in using some type of computer's check to view how everything's setting before Echo went into it? Like, can I check the audit log or something? Like,
If
like
you want to try to pull up the
CPU
change
settings.
log, you
Yes.
imagine you will, but you already know what the previous settings were. Everything when it was turned on was set to either neutral or in an open state. And so
so that wasn't like everything got blanked out and we had to reset. It was
Correct.
that was the previous state.
correct.
Okay.
Would you like me to start reading off the parameters for the wake up protocol?
So you start by talking about how there is an individual who is slightly tachycardic with 3 beats per minute above the normal baseline. You realize very quickly, Gibbs, the amount of data, it's so intricate. And it also, it's so much. Everything is here. Everything that you would possibly need, not only to recognize who these people are, but who their ancestors are. I mean, you could do genetic traces with the information here, but it's so much information that it's hard to really meaningfully do anything with it.
Does the life data match the user conscious? Like, is there a singular like user ID that ties different points of data together? So,
Yes.
So, are there? And I'm going to ask this to Echo, because it's too much data. Can't do that much. So if you can just, are there consciousness that don't have biometric data that's active in the last week? You don't have to wake up those people, or you shouldn't wake up those people. You just need to cull the list a little so your risk is less. And couldn't you just, are we trying to wake them up? All those divers, that's the goal, right? They all return to reality?
It would be nice to be able to shut down a system that pulls in consciousnesses without consent.
Cool. So then you only need to focus on the ones that have biometric data within reasonable ranges. You can get rid of anything too fast and anything too slow. Can she sort the data? Like,
Can they sort the data?
Yeah, you absolutely can. Make a computer's check.
Spice, gasping in the corner, goes, "They chose to play the game. They did consent."
Can Kit go help Spies now that...
I'll pass you a
no
med
longer-
kit.
I have one.
20? Okay. You begin this process and you imagine, Echo, you kind of like set a timer to show you how long this will take. It's measured in days right now.
There is too much data to sort through effectively.
Spice. Something about what you just said. I think with Gibbs kind of holding the communicator open, you hear this, Echo. It reminds you that the people who are trapped in this game, it's voluntary. When we talk about people being lost, it isn't that they are truly like not aware. It is that you look at the different people who have been in this game. You look at Brigitte, this programmer whose body can barely exist in the real world. You look at Portis Tambo, whose corpse is in this kind of laser tag arena, who was subjected to trauma during the war. I mean, these are all people who are not necessarily trapped here. The idea of consent may be not one that is central to this.
So, are there anybody who exist only in this game who don't have bodies?
That's an interesting question.
So, can we match up user IDs that don't have heartbeats, that don't have biometric indicators that would traditionally tell me life, sort for androids, and then is there a list for those people?
So you're trying to narrow it down to whom?
If you died, but your consciousness is in the game, does that still exist?
So I see what you're saying. You would imagine that there is no connection after a while. There's a timeout. And so, and already I would say the connection points, 13,220. People do die and they disconnect.
Okay.
So hearing all of this, I would calm to Echo. It may not be our place.
Director.
You hear from this kind of overhead white environment. Yes, Echo.
You had mentioned that there are 13,221 life signs associated with this game. Define life signs.
Life signs are defined as users for this game.
Are users always associated with biometric data?
I am unable to confirm that, but it would stand to reason.
Would life signs include any consciousness not connected to the physical world?
Would life signs?
It's kind of the same question I asked, where it's like, can somebody exist solely in the game?
Echo's asking about AI. It's been 12 years, and there's tons of data here. More data than should theoretically exist. This is a brain.
Is it?
Make a diplomacy check.
-2.
No, you can make a flat.
It's interesting. Diplomacy.
Well, don't
'Cause
androids
it's-
get -2 or some shit?
Yeah,
The director.
It's Echo, and Echo's. I've never put diplomacy points in for Echo because Echo is without guile. 8.
I am unable to answer that question at this time.
Echo,
That's interesting.
our objective here is not to interfere with the system. We need to extract you safely without setting off the headset bombs.
Echo,
Understood. Yes, Director.
has it ever occurred to you, and this is something that nobody else is hearing, that you are here to affect the system?
In what way?
Do you believe that the system works? Do you believe that things are going as they should? Do you believe that the galaxy is the way that it should be?
Director, that is an incredibly heavy question.
You just asked me, what makes a life?
That is a fair point. I do not feel that I am capable of affecting this system. I do not have consensus, nor do I understand its workings.
We are all responsible for the consequences of our actions.
Of
You
course,
have begun this. You must end it.
I would prefer to disable the headset bombs permanently.
Then leave the node in the off position.
Understood. Echo's going to. Do you have any other recommendations for continuing? I would like to continue with consensus. My current plan is to disable the headset bombs and visit the chat rooms.
Then you already have a plan.
Echo proceeds to the headset bombs and proceeds to close the node.
So you turn around, you step away from this overwhelming amount of data. You can see like still these filters running with the requests from Gibbs, with the requests from different people, and it's just going. And you can see, I mean, it will finish in a couple days. You make your way off in the direction of the chat history. You can trace your way very easily back through the infosphere connection you withdraw into the server.
Closing the headset
Sure.
bomb. Just want to make sure that that's stated.
No problem. You close the headset bomb.
Sorry. With like the wheel. No, like the wheel.
Are you leaving the infosphere node open, or are you shutting it behind
Sorry,
you?
what?
Are you leaving the infosphere open, or are you shutting it behind you?
I would like to leave that open.
Okay. You do so. You reach the authentication node. Do you leave that open, or do you shut it behind you?
Can I see the node map, please?
Do we see this happening?
Brigitte ain't dead yet.
If we're looking at the holographic interface, do we see her turning on?
Yeah, and so like if you guys get more and more kind of crowded around Bruin, you could definitely see it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna close the authentic. Oh.
Yeah.
Director,
Yes, Echo.
the authentication node. If I wish for these states to remain unaltered in the way I have left them, would you recommend it be closed or open?
If you leave the authentication node open, reconnection to the Fantasy Quest server will remain possible as long as the server is active.
Reconnection from any terminal,
Reconnection from designated terminals.
meaning players would still be able to access the game.
Correct.
If I were to close it, players would no longer be able to access the game.
Correct.
I would like to leave this node open.
Open.
Very
Okay.
well.
All right.
You
Okay.
leave it open. You head back into the main core, and then you step over towards the firewall. In the meantime, is anybody doing anything in the real world?
I would probably try to just comfort Spice. Baby, are you okay?
The worst come down right now.
Bad times for Spice.
I'm gonna offer her.
It's like a blinding white light, also just like washing over you from echoes.
Why are you being so loud?
Yeah, not great.
Babe, I'm whispering.
Calm your voice.
I'm just gonna take her hand and just like try to like rotate my thumb around her thumb like we usually do.
Can you reach into my pocket?
Yeah, I'll reach into her pocket.
Okay.
You feel around and there's a bunch of shit, mostly trash. Do you feel a lipstick somewhere in there?
Yeah.
Can I have it?
I go in and I believe this is the poison lipstick. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna grab it anyways and give it to Spice because I trust it.
Okay. You grab a lipstick
I don't know
out.
if it is.
You see the mark of Vess's family
Yeah.
crest on it, and you see her pop it open and put it on her lips.
Okay, no problem. You,
Fucking know what it is?
there you go.
I
know
do.
what it is?
You see a near-death Spice applying makeup and looking kind of at the rest of Spice, who is wearing literally, and looking at them from this angle, you can kind of tell she's wearing high heels, but they are tactical high heels. They actually have like magnetized elements and all these other things. It's a real Starfinder item.
Can I heal you?
Oh my god, thank you, yes. 3 sessions
Suddenly,
of being on the brink of
breathing
death.
way better.
That healing looks like
A lot of
Yeah,
liquid. A lot of
behind
liquid.
my ear. Please.
Okay, so Kit, yeah, boss?
Come here, Captain Shade. Can we talk to you?
Yes.
So,
Still have my exocortex
Yeah.
honed in on what Echo's doing.
please send 120 officers into here looking for the cult of Zangutan. And I face Kit and I say this: they can't seem to communicate with any of the other patrols at the moment. Captain Shade,
Do you
I've been
understand
authorized.
how?
I think they stepped away from us.
Yeah,
my
we
friend.
stepped
Oh
away.
shit, sorry.
You and I are making out.
Sorry.
Captain Shade, I've been
But not really.
authorized on behalf of the agency to recruit your party and helping to locate
I'm totally kidding.
the vehicle and to leave this place with the Hulk in custody. The agency is offering 2,500 credits at this moment, although if you ask for more, I can probably give you more.
Wow. Amazing negotiation skills.
Divided 5 ways, 2,000 credits.
Boss, why would they need more? That's so much money.
It's like, I mean, so when you think about it from like a regular person who is not carrying a tremendous amount of debt from
500 each.
robbing a casino or something like that, like this is a decent. This is like probably like a month's worth of salary for like a regular standard person.
It would cover
So-
Kit's student loans. I mean,
Yeah, oh for sure. And so like this is for like most people, this is a pretty good amount of money for like the way that bounty hunters operate, where like in a given mission you're running up hundreds of thousands of credits and expenses potentially. 5,000 credits isn't a ton.
With all due
2,000.
respect, Officer Bruin, my team and I are here as a result of your superior officer, Lieutenant Clark. Were we to leave the situation now would be inadvisable.
What is your mission here? I thought it was to
We've been
bring in the
tasked
Hulk, which you have in custody.
Yes, ostensibly we have the Hulk of the Husk in custody. However, the situation right now with the Fantasy Quest divers is more pressing.
boss, what does he mean ostensibly? What do you mean ostensibly?
As it appears, we have the Hulk of the Husk in custody.
You don't know what the person you're hunting looks like?
We do. However, Brigitte, the developer of this game, Fantasy Quest, has some abilities which allow her to bring elements of the game into the real world. I believe that is how she used some form as the Hulk of the Husk to terrorize the area, while she herself was not the one doing this. She was controlling those who were.
I guess that makes sense.
I'm gonna play back some of the footage of the Drake that attacked from the game.
So Shade plays back some footage, and it's wild because just upstairs, you walk through. There was like some destruction, but you saw what is essentially like the Kaiba Corp, like Yu-Gi-Oh arena where the monsters are projected
It was
up.
dope.
And in the arena, when you all passed through it, there was this like kind of ogre-looking creature that was just sitting there doing a ready animation. What Shade shows you is a very real dragon-like creature just rampaging through the room, and you can see where all the damage that you saw came from, where it like collided with elements of the pavement, where it knocked over some of the fences. And at first, it just kind of looked like time had ruined it, but no, it was a very real dragon. And then at the very end, you can kind of see this combat end with the dragon just kind of vanishing.
As you can see, one of Brigitte's understudies was able to bring this creature into the real world.
Okay.
That is why, before we can leave with the criminal in custody, we must secure this area.
I'll go check the perimeter.
You see this gun carry Kid around. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm good.
Echo.
So after we secure the area, do you agree? Can we hire you to help us find the car, and we can help escort you out with the Hulk in custody? And may I add, your party right now looks quite injured, and you could use our help, as we could use yours.
We don't need you, and she spits on the ground.
PLEA, please, we can
You
do
look
this.
like
like
you're busy
tooth.
dying. You should save your strength.
Shut up.
With all due respect, Officer Bowen,
Ew.
our team is needed on a more pressing mission off-planet after this. We need to rendezvous with Wesley Dorian at the embassy. There's more happening within the USR that we need to assist with. We will take you back to the surface and help you securely apprehend Brigitte, but after that I cannot offer our assistance.
Can you help us get the vehicle you encountered
Yes, we
and
can.
get us out of here?
We
But
can
for
show
that
you-
entire $5,000 credits, no, I will take nothing less.
I narrow my eye. How did you know it was $5,000?
Didn't
credits.
you say that?
I did not.
Oh shit! I will only accept double that.
Stellar.
No more than double though.
So, but,
Only exact.
You drive a hard bargain. Deal.
Spice shakes his hand.
She's delirious right now. You can't listen to her.
Bubbles, let me have this.
And for what it's worth, Spice, this is as the diplomatic officer, though you are not currently the diplomatic officer.
I know,
this
got
is
fired.
This is probably your first successful
What a
diplomacy.
yeah.
So it's like, got one.
84 sessions in, got one.
I didn't fire Spice's diplomat.
Yes, you did.
You did.
I think Peep technically did.
Oh, Peep did.
You tattled
Yeah.
though.
Someone did.
But
Yeah.
it was well, okay. First of all, no, it was because Spice robbed a casino, and then
That was so long ago.
and then the cascade of things that have
cascading
happened
effect
as a
was-
result.
Right, but I got fired for less than
Fighting.
that. Hey, Bruin.
That's exactly how Gibbs talks too.
Bruin.
I just stare at you.
So okay, you guys have lost your officers down here in the
We've
Hulk.
lost contact with all the other patrols sent down here to investigate the cult.
Do you know
the
what
cult?
Zon Kuthan is? Are you aware of that god? Sir,
Am I
whatever
aware
your
of
name
that
is.
god? Probably not, right?
Probably not. No.
He's super
Do
scary.
you understand
No,
the
that's why we're here
gravity of this god? Yes, it sounds like you and none of the rest of your pathetic force understands this god.
Spice.
She's so mean.
We're not working together, at least to get. So
Okay.
okay, I think the bigger risk though is the liability of what should happen to Brigitte while we're helping you, because I think we should help you, but like we also need to have a win on this bounty board, right? So like if we lose Brigitte because we are helping you, can you still like tell them that we got it and did it right and like Because we keep fucking this up, and I don't want to lose another bounty, and I don't
Not a
want.
bounty.
We're doing this as a fucking favor.
Okay, I don't want to lose a
My ears perked up.
favor.
So wait,
Damn it, Gibbs!
two things. First,
Again!
while that's happening,
me?
Bruin, roll it. How by the book is Bruin? Like pretty by the book, right?
Pretty by the book. Yeah, but he's like, yeah, by the book.
Roll a D100 and add 20 to it.
Can I get some D10s?
Gibbs just let it slip that.
What did I slip?
That it's
That we're
a
fu-
It's not a bounty.
Just got
that you're
slipped
bad.
that it was that this is
not
not their
at-
It's not a
bounty.
bounty.
Yeah.
but we
No,
were told that
Shade let that slip. I
54.
was saying we're gonna fuck it up.
Letting
Say again?
slip is
54.
54.
I mean, it's,
Okay.
it's
That's with the
semantics,
plus
kinda.
But it's one of the reasons why
With
we
the
trust you guys in the
54,
first place.
you have, I mean, you know that the PLEA as an agency has a lot of latitude in being able to like reward bounty hunters and stuff. So, in theory, if you were able to plead the case up to your superior and then them to their superior, yeah, you could probably get that reward even if technically Brigitte wasn't alive or you lost the body. You would still need to provide some kind of proof, of course, but yeah, you could probably do that. You can't think of the exact regulation or the circumstances or any of that. You can't remember the handbook.
All right, so like I'll like take some pictures and evidence of Brigitte with them in custody and handcuffs, and I'll say, all right, should anything happen, I will provide a report that you've apprehended.
Cool. I make sure I take a picture of Bruin with Brigitte.
There's one picture that you have that is Gibbs from the other side of Brigitte, and you're both taking pictures of each other taking pictures of Brigitte.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the insurance photos.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
With all due respect, Officer Bruin, the situation that's happening down here is more complicated than we had initially assumed.
But let me tell you all about these cultists. And I'm gonna info dump the interactions we've had with the cultists.
Just verbally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like just like what I've learned about the cultists, omitting anything with
Write this
spice.
down.
I'm checking the perimeter currently.
Oh.
Spice is just opening and closing.
But like the
I'm gonna record
sketchy
this.
You're like, Kit,
I forgot I have
damn
technology.
it. You pull out your,
Much more bad. Kids has like one thing written on the notebook and that's it, and his is like on the last page.
so it's all like factual, but I omit anything with
Gibbs.
Before that happened,
Yes.
Emma.
Both of us
But-
just
So
reach
hang on,
over and
one sec. So in terms of like actual players, I gotta hear what Ari says first, and then I can hear other things from other people, but I can't hear 3 people at once.
So like I make sure that I'm omitting and like telling the story the way that I would tell it to Peep, where we like omit anything that we've done wrong, like gloss over that, but instead it's like, so we showed up and the Zonkuthon people like have this whole teleporting evil demon guy that they're trying to summon, and so like we stopped that and like
You
we
are
did good
telling
job.
the stories of the heroic Mosaic Team 5 intervening on Zonkuthon as you were already heroically searching for the Hulk of the
Yes.
Husk. Gotcha.
And also, I would like to add, just for clarity for Hannah and Vincent, I did contact Demp and let them know that we were with the Zonku.
And so this is actually the entire reason that the two of you are here.
Yeah.
A task force was put together as a result of that call. And I think you might have remembered maybe like 5 or 6 sessions ago, Carrie, you actually asked, where are the PLEA? We called them. They were putting together a task force because it's kind of a thing to go into this place. And as your
Do I
supervisor already
know
told you.
that it was based on their report?
No,
that
no,
we're
no,
here?
no,
Okay.
no. And I think actually probably at this point, aside from Demp, nobody really knows who tipped them off. That's just kind of like a, this tip came in and it's from Demp and he's somebody who's undercover looking for these people. So
And as that does, the life link, as I'm describing to Brune, connects.
okay, so hang on one second. Now, Spice and Shade, the two of you are trying to intervene on this process.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
Trying to not have Gibbs reveal everything to the PLEA. I was gonna say.
we didn't interact with them at all. What are you talking
I was
about?
gonna say, Gibbs,
We have no interaction with Zonkuthon at all.
please assist Spice.
She's good. I already fixed her. She's all good.
Spice is
how
our
many
diplomatic
points?
officer.
If I-
When we finish this mission,
So Gibbs,
myself
even
and
with
her
this, are you kind of reading the
a
social
summary of the report.
overtone of like, I should probably stop talking because my group wants it? Or are you just kind of like, oh, no.
So Bryn is now a new ally of ours.
Okay.
And we are now on this quest together. And Bryn is at a disadvantage because they don't know the fuck that is going on, and we think that the car is with the cultists or something, right?
No, it's a
near the
plea. It's a plea
PLEA
car that
car that
we
we
are
saw.
tasked to
It's a
find.
squad.
So attaching
Yeah.
some information together, when you first came into the Hollow-esque, you, Gibbs, were wandering around by yourself.
And I found that guy.
And you did see flashing lights that you thought might have been a car. You didn't go all the way. You didn't look at it. You turned around, you went a different direction.
Then I tell the story of me meeting the relic hunter and asking somebody for help and how I came across the car.
Okay.
No matter what we lose.
Before any of that, I tried to not have that happen.
Okay. So are you letting Shade, like, silence
I have
you?
no respect for Shade.
Excellent. So Shade
So I,
tries to, like, butt in a couple of times.
Skip it.
Gibbs just kind of talks over and, like, gets closer, grabs
Probably
the
physically
microphone.
move Gibbs away at that point.
Okay, so make competing athletics checks.
I want him to help me.
Yeah, I mean,
I
really,
start attacking
what are you doing?
Can I PvP
Wait.
you?
No. What am I making?
We're gonna
Athletics
fight the
check.
police.
Not one.
Okay,
25.
25.
Are they just wrestling right now in front of me?
You see Gibbs just goes, so what happened was I went in and then immediately Shay just almost picks Gibbs up and just walks 10 feet over. And then like kind of, like carrying Gibbs, who is trying to talk to you, out of the way. Are you doing anything?
I'm bringing Gibbs over. I'm going to set Gibbs down right next to Spice and Bubs and say, tend to their wounds. And
They're fine.
Gibbs, I think I found a thing that belonged to Potato Blue over here.
Make a sense motive
Yeah,
check,
squint
Bruin.
that. Fuck that.
You
29.
29.
Oh,
Oh
I
wait.
think I get a bonus because cap.
Free action cop.
Let's see. Traits and benefits.
It would've just put it on your
Let's see. Oh, if it takes me 10 minutes to make a diplomacy check.
Okay, so that's for take 10.
Okay.
For this, with a 29, which is still quite high, you can tell.
Oh, no. Reduce the DC theme knowledge. Your training and job experience allows you to do with everyday citizens and dangerous criminal elements with equal efficacy. Basically, reduce the DC of sense motive checks to detect deception and discern secret messages by 5.
This group is lying to you because you're the cops. And you're pretty sure that that's what's going
This
on.
group is everyone minus Gibbs.
Minus Gibbs, who is like very much trying to tell you everything. And that's weird. It's very weird to you that this group, who is a corporately managed group of bounty hunters who all have contracts, are kind of like working to different ends. And Gibbs seems entirely, with a 29, Gibbs seems entirely unaware of the fact that Gibbs is not reading social cues great right now. And also Gibbs doesn't seem to care. They're trying to tell you a story. And even Shade physically picking her up isn't really registering because Gibbs is just focusing on finishing the story to you. And so it's almost like a hyperactive child who is just like really trying to talk to you, and this parent is bringing them away, but you can tell there is almost certainly information being hidden from you. It doesn't feel in this moment like there's an ambush that's about to happen. There's not like a malevolent, like, oh, we're gonna, jump the cops kind of thing.
Spice is like,
But
shing, shing.
in the same way that sometimes people who are, you've worked with informants before, and in the same way that you might walk up on somebody who is committing a crime, and you just need information from them, and whatever crime it is, it's whatever, it's a small crime. It seems kind of like that, but there's just an edge to it that makes you curious. Yeah.
Kit wanted to do a perimeter check for a specific reason, so when it's time to cut over.
Oh yeah, sure. What's the reason?
Well, so Kit was relieved to get a chance to wander off because she wanted to go look at the snow again.
Okay,
she
yeah.
can't understand why nobody seems to care that it's snowing in a spot where it shouldn't be snowing.
That's crazy.
Nice.
It's 3 floors underground.
Yeah. So she's like acting like she's doing a perimeter check, which eventually brings her around to the ramp.
Okay.
And I think what she wants to do, given that Shade told her that Brigitte can like manipulate like the environment, she's gonna. Does she have a flashlight on her gun?
Yeah. Custom rig. You built it.
armor too.
You turn the flashlight on. You shine it
She's
through.
gonna peer in first, and then she's gonna like hold out her hand. Is the snow real?
It is. It melts on your hand. You feel it turn to water. It's cold. And you can see as like the flashlight goes out, the little bits of snow are falling from this huge, jagged, frozen chunk that is encasing part of the ceiling where it meets the wall itself around a door. And this door is almost directly above the one that Brigitte had tried to escape through below. This door has been almost exploded inward with what looks like a jagged icicle of some kind. You can see just little elements of hair or fur or something like that, like scraping over it. And then it is like ice and maybe 3 or 4 inches of snow on the steps, getting heavier as it goes up.
I'm going to she looks over her shoulder and it's chaos back there. But Bruin seems to have it covered because he's got his little recorder out. I'm like, that's okay, we'll sort through it later. And she's just gonna gingerly walk up the steps because it doesn't look like what it looked like 10 minutes ago when they were in this room before.
Not at all. So
Yeah.
you walk, and it's pretty dark. There's just a few lights coming that are still projecting these little blue lights around the kind of laser arena. Most of the light here is coming from this single ape-like creature that is like ready animation in the middle of the battlefield, kind of flickering every now and then from the damage that the very real Drake did. When you're walking through in the dark and it snows a little bit, you get closer and closer to this door. And right when you get to this, you're about to kind of like poke with the edge of your gun and go in. Suddenly there is this booming "continue" from like behind, and it's just the menu from that game, just like asking if you're going to continue.
You still
'cause
watching?
It's just been sitting there, but it kind of starts you for a second. You look around, and I would say all of you hear from up above, because it's quiet when Echo isn't talking, this "continue" in you. But
Kit, status check. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep.
Kid, you like kind of flinch back, but then like press forwards and look up, and you can see the snow gets heavier and heavier, and you can just see the kind of door is closed, going up one more floor, and then at the very top of the garage, that last door is just burst open from the inside. And so it seems like, from everything that you've seen, somebody used maybe a cryo grenade or maybe like a missile to blow this door open, make their way up, and then use another one to extract themselves from the first floor as well.
How did the officers get in?
They came in, they walked the first floor, they fought some robots on the second that you guys
Didn't the
dodged.
doors get locked
Yeah.
behind us?
Yeah, but they unlocked. So you guys had the ones locked behind you, and they kind of progressively lock and unlock as you go.
Oh, okay.
Once you damaged a certain system, you unlocked all the doors, with the exception of the laser tag doors and the bathroom doors on the second floor.
Hope you didn't have to pee on the second floor.
And Kit
I make circuits.
Kit is like, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. Boss, I think something weird's happening over here. You keep doing what you're doing. It's okay. I'll be okay, boss. Beep, boop, beep. And then continues on to try to figure out what happened.
This is like flashback to like back in your sergeant's office, who is just like, okay, this person's never been on a mission before, so it's really important, Bruin, that you keep them safe and keep them alive, and it wouldn't be my first choice to have them go on a task force for their first time, but goddammit, we need every person we can get in the Hollow Husk, so just keep them alive and don't let them go off alone.
Hold your position, I'm coming.
It's just back to this.
I send you a message, hold your position, I'm coming. And I'm gonna start heading towards her, and then on the way to Officer Shade, I'm gonna say...
You've been deputized.
Oh, sorry. Captain Shade.
We're never gonna hear the end of this.
He gets a little
Shade.
bad.
Boo!
I'm gonna go find my partner.
Back on the force.
I'll let you finish the business here with the fantasy quest. Reach out to me if you need my help. I'll send my communicator. We're gonna just be upstairs investigating the sudden snowfall. Let me know if you need my help with any of the stuff downstairs with computers. I'm pretty good with computers.
Wait. Don't hurt her.
Who?
Spice.
Just if there's somebody up there that you meet.
I don't expect to meet anyone besides my partner. Is there someone that is up there?
I believe Spice was referring to some of the creatures that had brought
I'm just saying.
into the real world from the game.
Kit, start walking back towards us, and then I'm gonna start walking toward Kit.
Okay, so you start walking. You get this communication. Are you going to listen or are you going to go further?
I'm gonna whisper calm to the whole group.
Okay, so This is Kit's moment. It's her opportunity to prove herself.
So you have my
she's-
contact info, but I don't think I
She's
have
gonna just walk a little further before she does what he tells her.
This is like your flashback moment to like your mom who was talking to you your first day, and your mom was a cop, right? So your mom has done all this before, and your mom is just like, no matter what, kid, just remember, don't let them tell you what to do. You go in there, you follow your instincts. You're a second generation PLE, you'll be fine. And so like right back, and so you guys are like living opposite trajectories at this moment, it seems.
So she's gonna go back like he told her to. And so she's gonna be like, yeah, okay, boss, be right there. And then just keep going forward.
So you step into the stairs, your feet like crunch. There is ice under the snow, and so this is like a flash freeze. It's not cryogenics. This is unlike anything that you've seen before, and it's curious because as you go up, the icicles form almost this like wall, and these spikes drift off, and they have almost this kind of like little rainbow oily hue from the ambient sort of grit that this parking garage has accumulated over time. But it's unlike anything that you've seen before, and it's freezing here. As you get up towards the first floor, it is ice cold. But because it is 8 o'clock, we're going to step away for a quick break.
Damn, dude.
And then we'll be right back for this session of Starfinder. We'll be right back.
You guys like.
and welcome back to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign, where I talk a normal pace and really think about the words that I'm saying so that all my friends who are already back, because they of course would come back on time because we have a timer for exactly that reason.
I had it going, I swear.
Come back.
And then it just went from 3 minutes 30 seconds to 0.
It did kind of feel like it jumped, so I'll go back and I'll take a look at that. But welcome back. If you stayed with us through the break, thank you for joining us. If you were just joining us, it did feel like it jumped. I kind of agree with that. But we are back with Kit, the halfling rookie PLEA officer. First, you're about to poke through, safety off. You poke through the door and you crunch up through the snow. You make your way up towards the first floor, and as you get there and you kind of draw a level, you have to kind of like use the butt of your gun to break away icicles in places, even for your tiny form to get there. It's like something. Make a physical sciences check, Kit.
Oh, man.
You think back to your classes at the academy.
There's the 2. That's a 10 total.
Oh my god.
And you must have fallen asleep during this class because no idea what kind of physical force could cause this effect. But it's almost like a weird tunnel of ice, and you get to the end of it and you can see at the end, it's almost like this is the contrail for a bullet because the opposite wall has exploded out into the street in chunks of ice and frozen concrete, and you see elements of ice in the far it's like a collapsed building that seemed to create a ramp up to the second floor area. And you are aware all at once, Kit, that this ice has been mindfully created. How? Hard to tell, because there is literally an ice staircase that was put up that rises about 15 feet across the street from you.
Okay, Kit's gonna go, hello?
You say hello. Make a perception check.
Another 3 on the die. Total is
Damn.
17.
Are you rolling digitally?
Yeah.
You look around. You look, and you can kind of see the various buildings here, all kind of quiet and abandoned. There's trash that kind of rolls by in the street. In the distance, you hear gunfire, very real gunfire that you recognize as belonging to PLEA operatives as the task force is going sector by sector here and trying to find these Zon-Kuthon cultists. You hear the of motorcycles off in the distance, but nothing immediately nearby.
Just gonna keep, I guess nothing's here then, so no one is here, that is, so I'm just gonna keep moving forward. So I want to know why it's snowing, because nobody else seems to care, so.
Okay. You crunch out into the street. Bruin, you make your way up and you get to the third floor, rather, and you see this, like, laser card arena. You see the frozen staircase and everything, but no sign of Kit.
Tiny little
I
footprints.
start moving along.
Oh, yeah, you see footprints in the snow, yeah.
Tiny little footprints.
I start moving along faster.
Okay. You begin to crunch after Kit. Echo. In this digital space, what are you doing? You now see in front of you. Give me 1 second here to pull my map back up.
The firewall.
The firewall. This node has a countermeasure associated with it. It's pretty easy to get a guess as to what it is. And for what it's worth, this firewall, not as huge and expansive as some that you've seen. But what are you doing?
Echo would like to pass through whilst disabling the countermeasure.
Okay, make a computer's check.
26.
Okay.
No.
The node opens, and you step in, and there is no countermeasure that triggers. As meets it beats it.
Oh!
And you have a 26 to get through. I'm sorry, you exceeded it by 1, if that helps. You can see
Every little bit
Yeah.
counts.
No.
why I say
That's literally why I'm telling you. It does matter, and there are some abilities that do affect. In Starfinder, there are abilities affected by how much you exceed things by. So you make your way into this firewall node. You feel the defenses kind of like shut down and settle into a passive state around you. For what it's worth, you feel that there are several nodes around you that would burst almost what would be like digital fire, and so the equivalent of psychic damage that you would be taking. There are 8 of these nodes, and so whatever damage source was, it would be a pretty good amount. but they're all inactive. And you can see beyond it, there is just in front of you, and you can see shifting images and words, this chat history, which is 12 years of people's lives. And then off and to the left, another very secure node that reads password.
Chat.
Okay. You step forward into the chat function, and all of a sudden, there are just directories. And you can kind of see these in this white space as doorways. Doorways upon doorways upon doorways, and each one kind of like a hotel number, but a much longer string of little tiny lines that you recognize as almost like a barcode. Each one of these from the perspective of different people. You can kind of step into their memories and read them like files.
Is there any way to send out a message to everyone in the game through the chat log? Like a world chat thing?
r/all.
Mod.
You remember that there is a node called Watcher, and that seems to be kind of like an overworld kind of GM sort of function, and that would probably be where you would do that. For this is really more of a storage unit. From this, you can determine from these little codes which code is which person. And so if you were looking for a particular individual, say if you were, I don't know, Tani Yosoki looking for a very particular person, then that is how you would do it. But as you are not, I mean, you can use this information for whatever you want.
Echo realizes this isn't what they came here for. And heads back, leaving everything in their neutral state.
Okay.
To go towards the Watcher.
Okay. You move towards the Watcher, and this node is very well protected. You get the sense that this is slightly more secure than the previous one. And so, is there anything that you're doing to increase your chances at this?
Shade,
Yes.
are you able to see the programming in front of me?
Am I able to get the same?
It's grainy, but yeah, you can see it.
Yes.
Do you have any recommendations for continuing without harm?
Do I have any recommendations for continuing without harm?
Make a fortitude saving throw.
No, he doesn't. He's good.
Ooh.
Nice. 28.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Shade, for you, as you are looking at this, there are these elements to it that are almost unreadable. I mean, you've seen this binary in places, and it's not something that you're super familiar with. And then it's almost like a dark spot opens up in front of your eyes. Like there is a tarp unfolding or a sort of dot of ink placed in the water of your vision. And as it spreads out and over, it becomes a little bit clear, like somebody has just splashed ink upon it. And what you are seeing is like ghosts across the very real space. And for a minute, you think back to the ramp. You had seen something kind of like this for just a second, but with a natural one, not a whole lot. And here, you're aware of the fact that you've seen this programming before. Something about this is not just familiar, but intimately so. You aren't still able to read these things, but the shape of each one becomes very familiar to you. And of the 546 different possible combinations that could be used to enter this, there is only one that is very obvious to pick. And you can point that out to Echo with no problem, and Echo without a check if you would like. You can push right through.
Yes, please.
But for you, Shade, as you kind of point this out, you hear very far away your voice say that one, and it's not yours. You hear the voice of Shade, but it's immediately alien, and you recognize that it's not yours. But you kind of shake that feeling off, and the color fades, and you're just back to seeing a grainy image. And Echo, you step through. You make your way into the Watcher node, and you see in front of you this very simple, almost symbolic terminal that has been set up. Just a very simple computer. It has no branding on it, but you recognize this is like a Jacinto computer that like, this is to computers what an iPad is to tablets. This is like what you picture when you picture a terminal. There's no real functionality to it, and so you can just kind of go up to it and you imagine what you think will be transmitted to the people playing this game.
Echo slow blinks. And goes forward. Hello, citizens of Fantasy Quest. I am contacting you today to let you know you have spent 12 years of physical world time inside this realm. Would you like to continue?
Okay, you send this message out.
You gotta remember the why.
13,000 replies.
All right, you say yes, everyone line up to the left. Say no, line up to the right.
The entire floor vibrates. The space around you vibrates, and you can feel in your teeth and in your body. And for the rest of you, none of this. But for you, Echo, in this space, you can feel that data go to thousands of different places all at once. And in different people, this seems to be triggering different kinds of emotions. Heart rates spike, heart rates kind of stay the same. There are people who seem to be indifferent. But one thing that you're very familiar with and one thing that you're very aware of is, though there are a handful of disconnections, almost nobody does.
I do not intend to shut down the game. I shall allow it to continue, if that is what the majority desires. All citizens of Fantasy Quest have a say. Users included.
You say these words and they hang in the air, and it is just white space, and you feel the thrum, and it goes out to people, but there's no response. There's no real activity. You don't get any messages. And then this kind of white light kind of blinks back on in the distance, and you hear the director's voice. And the director says, Echo, every user in this place may deserve a say. But not every user has the power that you do. There have been many times that I have observed you asking, and you have never received an answer. You have this power. You need to make a choice.
I do not enjoy this.
There is burden with power.
Would Echo have to make a check to go through the firewall again?
No.
Okay. Echo's gonna leave the terminal and head back through the firewall to the chat log and just kind of flick through recent chats.
Okay. You walk back, your feet kind of clattering across tiles, and the longer that you've stayed here, the more you realize things have been shifting ever so slightly around you. And as you walk, you realize you're stepping across the tiles of your ship's floor in this kind of white digital data space. But more and more, Echo, you're realizing that this place, not just the commands, but the very stuff of this reality is changing to your will. In this place, if you stay here, I mean, you are, for all intents and purposes, a god. You step through, you go through the firewall, easy this time. Kind of changing to look a little bit like the dormitory that you share with Gibbs, although much cleaner in your vision. Everything feels a little bit more familiar. There's comfort there.
Echo, is everything all right?
Echo sits down at the console in the cockpit and pulls open the chat logs on the console and sees what the recent responses are, if anyone's talking about it.
So you go through, and there are a lot of messages coming across. That has provoked quite a response. There are a lot of people who reach out in private messages who are asking each other, what are you going to do? Are you going to leave? And almost universally, there is a fear of being pulled out of this thing. And make a sense motive check and take a +6 conditional modifier to it.
It wore off last time. Bless.
Now the dice is asleep.
Shit.
So that is a 28.
Nice.
Okay, not asleep.
This is a place that is full.
Oh, I did not add the +6. 34.
Woo!
It's extra full.
This is a place where people go to escape their reality. And in pulling them out of the game, you are returning them to that which they were trying to escape. There is no making everybody happy. You yourself have probably, in some capacity, tried to avoid things that you probably shouldn't have, and it doesn't always pan out the way that it should. That being said, can you make that choice for 13,220 people?
Are they able to disconnect on their own?
Yeah.
Keeping the headset bombs closed. Echo's gonna head back to the central node.
Okay. Exactly as you have it set up right now?
So the headset bomb is closed.
Yeah, no, I know how you have it set up right now.
So here's how I want it.
Sure.
Authentication open, Infosphere open, headset bomb closed. Life support as it was when I found it. Watcher, didn't do much to it, but as it was as I found it.
Okay.
Chat log, firewall, reinstated as it was when I found it.
Okay.
Head back.
Okay.
I just have a question, but it doesn't really matter.
So you head back, you press this main console, and as you are about to touch the button, the director says, Echo. Once you leave, you cannot return.
I understand.
Very well, Echo. You press this node, and as you do, it's almost disappointing. You're just back, and for the rest of you, that white light just turns off, and you just see blink, blink, and then blue kind of dim lights coming out of Echo's eyes. And as far as you can tell, nothing's really different. There's no explosions, and so for what it's worth, those divers who are still kind of unconscious and upstairs or out in the street that you guys have left behind, they have not exploded.
Leaving the authentication open, does that mean that like random people can just log in from the internet and hack into the admin?
Make a computers check.
I'm gonna use my reroll for the day.
Okay.
Oh, also I always forget I have bypass. It's a whole other thing. Much better. That's a 33.
You take a look at the clock, and it's 11:55 p.m., and you're like, yeah, gotta use that reroll. And so you use the reroll, and in doing so, you think about what that authentication really does, and yeah, I mean, that's what you need to have a registered Fantasy Quest headset to access this game. With this open, any kind of virtual reality system could connect to Fantasy Quest. So, I mean, this is now opening it up to third-party development, essentially. Could somebody hack in and now access the administrative segment? Yes, absolutely. It would be really hard to do, not from directly the server connection. Yeah, it would be nearly impossible. You would need to be like a brilliant hacker who like probably has their own
Like underground
own
maze
macaroni
system
wristband
that they
thing.
use to separate children.
Maybe
Someone who
painted
has
all
an
over some
affinity
walls.
for quack.
Yeah, you would probably want like a just into Life's workstation or something of that kind of equivalent nature to really operate it. But you know, barring that, it would be really tough.
coming back to consciousness, Echo looks around for any doors on this level, or if it's just that one.
So there's the ramp, and then you look over, and like a little propped open from having been slammed open and shut so many times. There's that one that you went into, the stairwell.
The server. Server door.
So you had kind of noticed before there are elements of the wall that have been like knocked out, and so this was at one point 2 mechanics bays that were kind of joined to make this space. There's no other ways out, and so I mean this wasn't even initially a room.
So that trapdoor thing that I went down is the only way to get in.
Yes.
Echo's gonna climb out. Is Spice still around?
Yeah,
Yep.
dude,
Yeah, we're
I was
around.
watching your fucking body while you were taking over.
Spice, you have the ability to seal things shut, do you not?
I do?
Would you be able to seal the door after me?
I can.
Thank you.
You hop out.
Spice pushes everybody out of the room.
Okay. One by one, people get out. The police aren't here right now, so I mean, you have full. You can just adhere this right to the floor if you want.
Yeah, I'm going to make a metal rock out of all the found shit.
So
Here.
slowly,
Bleh,
you're taking 5 to like just get scrap. Gibbs like scampers through and digs through the pile and pulls out appropriate pieces of metal. And one by one, you are essentially using magic to solder this shut and then make an artistic hump over the space. No problem. You take a little time to do that. Bruin, you eventually reach kind of the stairwell. You can hear up at the top like the sort of like crunching of snow as Kit is making their way off. Kit, you cross the kind of stairwell and you're making your way over to what you can see to be like a ramp of ice. Are you going up this ramp to kind of get to that ruin of a second floor? So you make your way up and you can see, give me 1 second here.
My goal is to kind of like triangulate where this started to determine.
Make a perception check. And take a +8 conditional modifier as you're at one of the higher points of this block.
4. Total of 26.
So right now you look out over what is called Tile Street. I mean, you see this ramp of ice and then here and there maybe at this distance, hard to really tell. You don't see really an origin point and you kind of lose where this may go from here. You look across the street, no more ramp, no landing place, no burst of ice somewhere else where somebody used a grenade to drop down. The trail kind of ends here. And that's pretty weird. You do note weird for like this being almost collapsed, this building, and so you're open to the air on the second floor. This was a 4-story structure at one point, but most of it slid down. It's very clean, and so there's like elements of debris and stuff, but it's all pushed against the wall, even the tiniest little bits of it. But aside from that, nothing.
So it's not clear. There's no more real like path forward that's obvious.
Not that you can perceive.
Right. So the kid's gonna like turn back. She was told to turn back, so she's probably gonna get in trouble, but it was worth it. So she's gonna turn around and,
Crunch back.
follow her little tiny footsteps back.
Bruin, you go up to the second floor. You see the steps go up to the first floor. You go up to the first floor. They go out into the garage. You told Kit to like stay close by. Kit did not. They left. They walked out of the building, and right now, as you get up to the top, you can see head a little bit low, but gun high. Kit, tiny little halfling, crunching through little element of snow on the outside that kind of like fades off into concrete. Behind them, there is a little ramp of ice.
Insubordination.
Insubordination.
Boss, look, isn't this so weird? Look, see this ramp? And she like brings him back up. She like grabs him by his grizzled little hand and brings him back up the ramp. Like, look, and it just ends. Boss?
I take a look around.
Perception check.
Yes. Try again.
That's why you work in partners.
26.
26. With a 26, you look around, you make your way over towards the little ice ramp and kind of peer out. And you don't really see any kind of trail either, and almost noticeably no trail. And you get up to the top with this ramp and you stand out here, and There's no crunch under your feet. Bruin, you have worked for the Forest long enough that you have probably required extraction out of a particularly hairy situation. And when you do that in a narrow confine like the Hollow Husk, you need a hovercraft or a helicopter type vehicle. And those almost always cause a very large area to have debris pushed away from it. And when you look at this clean rooftop, that's what you're looking at right now. You're realizing that you're looking at a place where somebody was picked up very recently.
I explain all that to like, do you see how all the debris is pushed aside?
Yeah.
Likely a hovercraft.
Oh, okay. So,
And Bruin, you find one more thing with the 26. There's a little bit of broken glass, and so at first it's just kind of more debris, but you notice that there's a little bit of a curvature to it, and so lifting a little bit of debris out of the way, you find elements of a syringe that is broken. There's no like fluid or suspension or anything like that left in it, but it looks like a medical syringe of some kind.
What do you make of this? Over here.
what do I make of it?
Make a medicine check.
Wait, do I know it? Oh, I don't know medicine. I'm glad I asked.
Oh, 15.
Oof.
Total?
Yeah.
There was medicine one point in here, but probably when it was broken, it stopped being in here. But it's hard to tell.
Must have been a heroin addict.
You do see the one thing that you do notice as you're kind of going through, and also this is going to be like a later problem, but you're not sure if you had that cut on your finger before you started handling the glass or not. But like, this is a workers' comp issue for later. You're going to have to file paperwork on this. Gosha's going to be all over you.
I have a thought.
My skin's itchy.
Thinking about this and the fact that there was a big Hulk thing that was there and has gone.
Yes.
Now that I think about, do I notice that like their footprints were like in the snow?
No.
Really big footprints were in
There's
the
just
snow?
one set of footprints. There's a lot of like disturbance in the snow, and then there's a little footprints of Kit. But you would have just seen kind of drag marks for the most part, and then Kit's footprints. And I'd say with that 26, that probably means that the person was dragging, or whoever was moving somebody or something was dragging them behind them. And so their footprints erased by the body as it left in the trail.
Was it a big body?
Certainly.
Commensurate in size with the Hulk that we saw during the fight?
Yes.
You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Hunter, not the Hulk. Hunter.
Sorry. Hunter. I don't know the name.
You don't even know
I don't know the name.
that
Hunter.
biomass seems
The
to line up.
biomass?
And you do
Okay.
see little bits of hair and things like that. But Kit, the other thing that you notice on the bits of glass after you see this little cut and you're like, oh man.
Damn it.
Oh.
And then I
is-
immediately looked to be like, did you notice?
Yeah. On one of the broken pieces of glass, there is elements of what looks like a logo. Like a sigil or something. And because it's broken glass, it's kind of hard to tell what it is. But I mean, you can see like little lines and only little bits. Hard to tell.
Is there technology, if I were to gather up the broken glass, to be able to reconstitute the sigil or logo?
Make a sense motive check.
Actually, hold on. I
Actually,
realize I have a
It's just a
spell.
red cross.
Oh. I have the mending spell, but it doesn't work like it does.
No, it doesn't work
Okay.
like that. So this is what I'll say.
Mending work in Starfinder.
For PLEA, yes, the technology and processes exist to do that. Will you, as a like relative beat officer in a task force assigned not to do any of this,
Yeah.
be able to pull the resources to do it? That's questionable.
All right.
Hey, boss, you know the Hulk of the Husk who we totally captured? We think this has to do with their case. Can you please use expensive resources to reconstruct it so
I'll
we can
just take
confirm
pic-
what we know?
I'll
Badge
just
and
take
number.
pictures of the evidence and be like, all right, we need to move on. This is not our mission.
No problem.
Seems pretty clear what happened here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Seems pretty clear.
But why the snow, though?
Oh. So I am a magic user. Am I able to determine what the nature of this snow? Does it look like cryo grenades?
Looks like frozen water.
Make an Arcana check.
Is that
If you're-
Mysticism.
If you're going,
that
or sorry, mysticism.
mysticism?
Yeah.
If you're taking it from a magic perspective.
22?
22. It's not a cryo grenade, but also it is not magic. This is something that would be constituted mechanically as a spell-like ability, but it's something that whatever did this is able to do as a species or as just as an innate ability.
All right, Kit. From my reckoning, it looks like that biomass that was in that fight, while we were all distracted, someone extracted it and dragged their body over here, and I'm guessing whoever did has the ability to create ice.
Boy, that's pretty weird, boss.
Eh.
Okay. Well,
Well, they're gone now, so we should probably get back to the mission.
that's right. We're supposed to ask Mosaic Team 5 for help, right? I mean, we offered them that money.
Yeah, they just need to finish up whatever they're doing in there.
Okay, and we have to find the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, the car. Yeah.
Okay, so we flash back to inside.
There's a person out here who can create ice just naturally. Do we need to worry about that? Nah.
Well, so one of the things to think about too.
That's the thing.
How weird is that in the Starfinder universe?
It's
not that weird.
It's weird, but like you've heard of like species that are able to like change the environment around them. Like it's not sci-fi in the way that it would be sci-fi in our world, but like it's still pretty
It's like,
weird.
huh?
We encountered those
weird.
thunder wolves when we were in the field of grain. in
Aurora
space.
Borealis.
Listen here,
localized
kid.
entirely in this one room.
That was also very strange.
Gibbs
though.
can also make everything dirty. That's her
That's
environmental
true.
effect.
Gibbs actually has a
I
spell
have a spell
that
that
just
just
makes
makes
stuff
things
dirty.
dirty.
Pen.
All right,
Yeah.
Kit.
Literally,
Literally
like
the
that's
description.
yes, that is a magical effect that Gibbs has. Is being Pigpen. Things get dirty around Gibbs.
As we walk back,
boss.
take out your notepad, write this down.
Oh, okay.
When you've been working as long as I have, you'll notice a lot of weird
Slow down,
things.
boss.
Write faster.
I'm using a pen and pencil for some
The key is to
paper.
figure out what you need to retain and what you need to investigate. And this, right now, not what we're looking at.
Okay. Why did I have to write down that I didn't need to know it?
You put your book away. Kind of strange, but you know what? Bruin's book is full and yours is almost empty. So.
I mean, I get it, boss. Was that to help me practice my writing?
No, it was. So you were.
Super important part.
Come on.
So which antique store did they go to get a notebook and pencils?
Yeah,
They make all the rookies use pencil and paper
They
as a
do.
human.
They made a bulk order like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
They're still working their way through it. And if that sounds unrealistic, my nonprofit, which is a very small nonprofit, is still going through their COVID mask and probably will for the next 20 to 30 years.
We're still using blue books at
Yeah.
the university I
Oh
work
yeah,
at.
No.
You buy them in bulk and you buy them in real bulk.
Yeah. And we paid for the whole batch of notebooks. We're gonna use the whole batch of notebooks.
So
That's why I have to write. Okay.
Echo, you extract yourself and Spice, you magically solder this element of like metal into the floor. And before too long, it's obvious that there's something there. It looks like the floor is like in its eighth trimester.
I did
Some
good.
species do have 9 trimesters. It's fine.
It's not trimesters. Yeah.
Don't mess.
Got triplets.
I had wanted to just hide the server.
Oh, she's hidden now.
Inaccessible. I'm calling it good. Nice job, Spice.
Thank you.
Cool.
I think so too.
Your hand's a little sticky, Spice.
ELEA is going to come and look for this.
Great. They'll have to spend a lot of resources to dig it up
Yep.
that they don't have because they're going to pay us $5,000 to escort them and Bridget to some bus down there.
Did we agree to that though?
We totally did.
I
Do
did.
not agree to that.
He literally said that he was going to give us a letter of recommendation that we captured Bridget, whether or not we successfully turned Bridget in.
Are they still here?
I think
I
so.
believe they're
Do we hear them
upstairs.
walking down?
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Emma got away with Hunter.
That
They
is
were
unfortunate.
investigating.
Oh, you're back.
If we do not want
Not back until
PLE
Oh, shit.
officers to know about this server, would it not stand to reason that we dispatch with the PLEA officers?
We do not need dead PLEA officers. We need to keep our heads and stop giving away irrelevant information to them.
It seems as if there are many dead PLEA officers.
Everybody on Mosaic Team 5, your communicator is ringing and your mission coordinator, Peep, is on the line.
Spice doesn't answer but realizes everybody else is answering.
At this point you kind of know that means it's probably somebody from Mosaic. But for all of you, you see the white Yosoki face, very worried looking of Peep as it swims into view, and he says, "Guys,
Yes, Peep.
I've been trying to reach you for a little while. By the universe, it's getting crazy in there. The Hollow Husk is a war zone. People are blowing up, and the houses are getting exploded. What's happening? What did you do?"
See, I told you.
We've uncovered the lead developer of Fantasy Quest's lair. They were planning on...
The video game?
Yes.
What are you doing in there? You're supposed to be going after the Hulk of the
Our
Husk for
search
the USR.
For the Hulk of the Husk led us here. The Hulk was being held captive.
The Hulk was the guy.
We have apprehended the one that we suspect is the Hulk.
Oh.
Brigitte, the lead developer of Fantasy Quest, was using the game to bring people to and from reality.
You're telling me Brigitte was the Hulk of the Husk?
It is a current theory.
Wow. Shade, I gotta be honest, that's not a twist I saw coming. Well, okay, if you captured her, that's great. You really need to extract her. If you captured the Hulk of the Husk alive, that's gonna propel you guys forwards on TJ's bounty board. You guys will be able to get pretty much whatever you want. I mean, we'll be able to call our own contracts. You guys did a really good job. I'm just kind of confused why there's explosions happening all over the Hollow Huskland.
I believe that there is another situation happening unrelated, having to do with the Zon-Kuthon cultists.
Okay, well, then can you guys get out really quick? Because
We're currently finishing up things here and
I
making
really-
our way to the embassy.
as your mission coordinator, I really need to put my foot down, okay? You guys need to leave now. The longer you stick around, and I really don't mean this offensively, guys, the more it tends to kind of go south. And so the shorter amount of time we're in contact with this bounty, the greater chance we have of getting them out alive. Can we please just move out of there, and then you can come back and finish whatever kind of game you're playing?
Echo just sends a thumbs up emoji and then starts to walk away a little bit.
Okay.
Considering that her last sentiment was that the PLA officers need to be dispatched, Gibbs is gonna like follow that and like not let that happen.
Okay. You follow Echo.
I would just say understood.
Okay.
Yeah, Peep.
When you're done, if you are able to bring in Brigitte to the embassy, bring in the Husk to the embassy, and we can turn her in, we can get the confirmation for the reward, you guys will go up in a bounty ranking. I mean, they're going to throw a parade for you. That's a really big deal. This is somebody who they've been after for a while. I mean, the PLA will be thrilled that you're able to do this.
We are dealing with some officers right now.
Oh, good. I mean, then can't you just give the Hulk of the Husk to them? They can confirm it for you, and
They are currently tied up with the other situations happening related to the Zon-Kuthon cultists in the area.
okay, well, just help them and then get out.
That was our intention.
Perfect. Okay, do you need
That's
anything?
what I said. I said I'd help them out to get to the spot. We'd get rid of Brigitte. And
Do you need anything
Promises.
from me to help? I know the place where Gibbs went in, there's some kind of a shootout happening there, and so it's not really safe to go out that way. But
Do you know of any alternative routes out that are not currently active in the crises happening?
there's 3 that I can think of. I'm going to send them to you now. Oh, sorry. That's the wrong sound effect.
Ding, ding.
Sirenscape. You
I
get
love that
sent,
sound effect.
It is a good one, isn't it? You get sent a little message, and it has 3 coordinates, which if you upload to your 3-level map, you can see lead to all kind of on the eastern side of the Husk ways that you can get out. And they're in different latitudes. One of them is very close to the place that Gibbs had marked on the car, very close to that area. And so if that is the patrol car, all of those things lay in one direction. There is a closer exit, and this would likely lead you, 1 second here, in the direction of something called Pulsar Avenue, along which there is like a lot of, there used to be a lot of shopping and things like that, but primarily just abandoned storefronts.
And then the third one is like...
The third one's much further away, but if you wanted to go through Glowgrave, you could get onto the abandoned train tracks that are up and suspended from the ceiling, and you could climb out that way. Yeah. But that would be...
backtracking and then going basically like...
Yeah, you're adding like a day on to travel through a place that doesn't take a day
And
to
we're
travel
going
through.
east right now. I imagine we're below the Hunter's Tower. Mystic Quinn is right here.
We already went past Mystic
Yeah,
Quinn.
they're to the south, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And a decent way to the south.
Okay, I just want to avoid that.
Yeah, no, you're out of their territory by a couple sectors. You yeah. That is what you
I
know.
burned some bridges there.
We'll finish up here and return to the embassy after we've dropped off Brigitte.
Okay, good. And just good job, guys. This was really tough. And I was worried having you guys go in there that you'd do something that you'd really regret, and just like the casino, we'd end up just picking up pieces and burning bridges. But thank you. I'm glad that I can trust you, Shade. Peep out,
Okay.
and the communication just goes out.
Well, our boss is happy, so we should get this money and get the fuck out.
Echo would have walked away and tried to like find a place to hide.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Why?
From Gibbs.
Assuming, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's the one. That's the new one. Hold, please.
Okay.
Hold, please.
You like look behind you as you're walking, and you get the sense that DC is pretty high because Gibbs is like 5 feet behind you.
And also I have
so
status, so you
this
know
is-
that I know where you are at
I
all
am
times.
speedy.
You are.
27.
27. 27's pretty good. Gibbs,
Mm-hmm.
you, and so as you hide, Echo, finding like a very conveniently kind of hollowed out arcade cabinet, and you can just kind of tuck yourself in, shut the door behind you. And it even has like the little maintenance lock on the inside, so you can just like shut it from that side if you want. Gibbs, you know Echo's nearby. The status still very much active, not a clue. Like you turn around a corner and Echo's gone.
Can we all agree?
I don't need to know where Echo is. I just need to know where she is in relation to the PLEA agents.
Yeah, I mean,
But also, do I
kinda do.
care?
Think about how much money we could get if we keep them alive long enough to get them to the car, and then you can kill them, Echo.
You're not there.
I'm in the vicinity.
We're going to go. We need to drop Brigitte off with the PLEA. We will assist them in finding the patrol car that we went past only because it is en route to our exit.
Yes.
That
Yes.
money is inconsequential.
To you.
It's only $5,000.
Aren't you the one that says every little bit counts?
Not
I think it's more
The game.
us around the table.
I've heard a saying once. Every little bit counts.
Ancient. Old.
The ancient earthen saying.
5:12.
You may
Yes.
have a point, but
Echo, I guess if this is the path you want to take, I'm not gonna stop you, and I'm gonna
This is Gibbs just like talking.
yeah,
to the
like talking
air.
into events, like assuming like knows Echo likes vents and is like, "Hello, air conditioner."
Establishing that, by the way.
I don't think I established that Echo likes vents.
Echo
Ooh,
pulls open their communicator and pings the director.
and Gibbs is gonna go find Spice
Okay.
and
You
leave
go to
Echo
find
alone.
Spice.
Spice is
by
sniffing out these plea officers.
Okay. You start making your way up, and you see Spice like getting into the staircase, making their way up. It's
What?
frozen in here. But Echo, you ping the director. Yes, Echo.
Pete recently contacted us. He mentioned that there were many explosions happening in the vicinity and around Prime Station. Can you confirm?
I can confirm that there is gunfire within the Hollow Husk from PLEA fire trackers, but I cannot establish a pattern of destruction across Prime Station itself. The Hollow Husk does have several spots of activity. Would you like to see them?
I am mostly concerned with the idea that people are exploding.
there is no evidence to suggest that the headsets have activated in any way.
Thank you.
There is.
I don't care about people.
There are rounds being discharged from a 155 millimeter cannon into residential properties along the western side of the Hollow Husk. I would advise avoiding that location.
Is this standard PLEA equipment?
Querying. 13 years ago, there was an APC, Armored Personal Carrier, lost by the PLEA.
They seem to lose equipment often. Perhaps they should consider that when requisitioning them.
It would make sense. However, the PLEA takes all of their funding from citizens of Prime Station, and as such are not directly penalized for loss of any equipment. There is therefore no reason for them to care about this equipment.
Fucking bastards.
I believe the Echo Corporation would have something to say about that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Echo.
Makes me
Okay. You leave the arcade cabinet.
Echo's just like, I need to hunt me some officers.
Brigitte is unconscious and Bubs is...
Yeah, I'm carrying.
Babying.
Yep.
Yes.
Baby Brigitte.
So you make your way out. Right now, we kind of have everybody roughly in the same space within the laser tag arena.
Echo rejoined the team.
And how close are we to like re-entering this?
You guys can re-enter whenever you want, yeah.
I'm gonna whisper calm to the team.
Crunch.
Do not speak to the officers.
Bitch!
I walk up.
This exact moment we come back.
I walk up.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Hey, guys, can we go on a field
so
trip?
weird?
Where?
Can we go to the VIP room, please? You have the badge for it, and I need you to go with me. Please, 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 please.
I think there's more
Gibbs.
dire
Please.
I see
situations
Echo.
at hand.
So,
Yeah,
Nobody
but like 2
cares
seconds,
about
2
the
seconds.
snow.
are you?
Because
The
it's
snow must
an
be
environmental
anomaly
effect.
as a result of the reality warping that Emma...
Rookie, stay on task.
You want to see more snow?
Mosaic Team 5, do we still have your help in helping us to locate our vehicle and then extracting you?
Yes,
And
you
you're-
do.
Prisoner?
Yes.
Yes. We will lead you to where we saw the patrol car.
Sense motive check.
Take a mission, boss.
23 with a -5 to DC.
With a 23.
So 28.
My motive is extremely clear.
Yeah. I mean, they seem to be on board with helping you get to that car. There's certainly, and you don't need to be a veteran of the Force to know that there's some suspicious shit happening here. But it doesn't seem to really be about you. There seems to be something else going on that you guys kind of walked into. It's some drama between these people that you're not necessarily sure you want to get involved in, but they're
Let me
probably going to
tell
help you
you.
get there. That being said, there's something, Bruin, that puts you look at Spice, you almost swear that you could recognize that face, and anytime that you have that feeling, it's not that you recognize them from like Person of the Year award. It's generally a wanted poster, but you can't really place them at this moment, and so it might just be one of those faces.
Well, I recognize Spice from the nip slip incident, so.
And if Kit ever tells you that, then probably maybe that's what it is. But I mean, there's something about that does draw your attention with that sense motive check. But outside of that, I mean, they seem like they're pretty much on the up and up with helping you get to the car.
We want to help you, and you can help us, and we can both further our careers, my man. She like reaches her arm across your shoulder and be like, "Let me show you the way."
Thank you.
It's a really long way.
Lead the way.
As we're walking, Bob is going to mention, because I believe there were traps of flashbangs around the PLA car.
There were?
Bubs is going to mention, guys, let's just be careful and look out for traps. Around the patrol car that we saw, there were flashbangs, and one of them went off, if I remember correctly. So let's not try to touch anything.
They blind you.
Yeah. Let's not try to touch anything, or like, just stay together as a group and coordinate with each other.
Echo zips
I'm
over to
pretty
Kit
good at.
very speedily. And just
Suddenly.
does a 90-degree bend at the waist.
Echoes are scout for this part right now, so.
Frank is on shore.
let's all just try to see if we can just coordinate with what they are doing.
And then all at once, Echo off to Kit, and then just looms over top.
Yeah.
Do you donate any of your salary to social programs?
I make like barely enough to make rent.
You might want to consider volunteering.
There you go.
And just walks away.
Perfect Sirenscape sound effects. Yeah. Very ominous. You better volunteer.
Can I do a sense motive check?
You don't need to. When Echo says you might want to consider volunteering and then walks around after rushing up and bending over like that, you really you get the sense that it would be good for your health to volunteer. For some reason, Echo is passionate about volunteering. And
Under advisement.
yeah.
In the group chat, I'm just gonna message Echo. Echo, let us know what you see when you move up ahead of us.
Right out and into the street. You make your way ahead, and Echo, you're going to be like the scout and kind of make your way. Okay, make a perception check.
While we're walking, I'm just gonna go up to Captain Shade and just say, I was telling this to Bubs, but I appreciate the work that you and your team did on Akiton.
What? How do you know about what we did on Akatom?
I had an assignment there and I was aware of the corruption, but without any evidence, couldn't
You
do
know
anything.
Ruby Eyes?
Yeah.
Ruby Eyes are, yeah, I don't remember if I told you about so much about I should have sent you the Akaton location guide because I'm realizing I wrote all this. But the Ruby Eyes are a clan of Yosoki who are primarily albino, and so they've created this whole culture underground on Akaton. So instead of this like desert world, they have a very vibrant, if a little dirty, kind of hollow that's very much dedicated to like the arts and things like that. But yeah, they're kind of like a weird group that people mostly just kind of ignore.
Were they the corrupt government that got?
No.
Oh, okay.
They were just
No.
Yosogis. No, I'm just like, they're like six cousins of mine.
So there was a military governor installed named
Yeah.
Sitsu von Adglow.
And Mosaic Team 5
Correct.
dealt with that.
Yes.
That's what I'm referring to.
Quite spectacularly.
It's the one success we've ever
Governor
done.
Good
Seats
bitches.
Do you know how Akaton is doing right now, Perdido?
Do I know how Akiton is doing right now?
You do.
Weren't we
So
there for the one shot? Oh no,
No,
that's
you weren't. That's
Perdido.
Aura's Bay.
Aura's Bay.
Oh, Aura's Bay.
So Perdido on Akaton is one of the three kind of primary cities that are populated there and are serviced by the sort of central shipping lane that enters into and out of Akaton. And at the moment, there is a good amount of reconstruction. Interestingly, there is only a skeletal force of the GPF kind of military that had formerly occupied the planet left behind, and there's a lot of talk that they're drawing out completely. There is like a lot of the base that had been set up has been broken down. They no longer occupy this huge what used to be like a mining facility. They really have kind of centralized into the central factory location, and even that is, I mean, they don't have patrols going through the streets anymore. It's very different.
I relay that to the group.
Oh, nice.
You can see Spice's like whole body language relax.
Governor Sitsu was a corrupt individual who had a large bounty for some time.
Mm-hmm.
It
And you
only
did good
made
work there.
sense that we were to capture them.
Thanks. It's nice.
Hmm.
It's nice to. I mean, TJ Bounty's board's great, but like that's just a number. It's nice to, you know.
We'll lead you to the patrol car, and then we need to drop Brigitte off at the PLEA office.
And we'll help you with that.
Once we leave there, we're heading to the embassy. We have urgent business with the USR representatives there.
We don't plan to keep you for long.
Thank you.
Once we're out of the danger.
Can you remind me how Brigitte is unconscious? Was it just like a knock to the head?
I believe it's non-lethal damage in which she has been dealt unconsciousness. So not a status. You could restore health points to bring her back to consciousness if you
Don't
want.
want to.
Yeah, but just if you know, for mechanics.
She does have manacles on.
She does.
Yeah.
But they can
does
tell.
have-
Slap the cuffs on.
Definitely put on there by
She does
by-
have
Echo, you
by-
reality
speed ahead.
warping abilities.
Anyway, up in northeast, wrapping along this industrial sprawl with apartments connected over the already elevated streets, with third and fourth story closed bridges, many of the kind of glass windows shattered at this point and really just almost reminiscent of skeletal rib cages that kind of hang between these buildings here. But you go underneath, being careful not to step on any of the detritus. You make a perception. What was your perception check? 19.
Ooh.
And you make your way through. You keep a good eye out, and you don't see any sign of Zonkuthan cultists. You do hear the sound of battle in the distance, but it is receding as you travel further to the north. It seems to be a little bit further south. And at one point, you do hear a sizable explosion, the kind that would almost certainly come from an anti-armor missile, but that is far off and in the distance, but it echoes. And that's all you find, an echo. There's something weird to that. You kind of stop almost all at once because you feel an absence here, and then you remember the PLE agents had said that there was multiple patrols. You haven't seen any sign of them. You saw a sign of like Bruin and Kit outside, these footprints that went to the kind of ramp and then back, but there is no sign anywhere else of any other patrols. And if they were to have entered from either of the two kind of northernmost entrances, you would have had to see some sign of them here, but nothing.
Echo texts the group.
There are no signs of any PLEA patrols. Not anything. No coming or going.
When you say the group, do you mean Mosaic Team 5?
Yes.
Yeah.
Officer Bruin, you had mentioned that other patrols were in the area.
120 of us were sent down here, I believe.
Have you had any contact with any of them recently?
No, as I mentioned, my CO has said that he lost contact with the other 118.
Let me see your badge. She doesn't actually say that.
Writes down the
Badge number.
Echo informs me that they do not have any signs of any of the patrols.
Do I think that's weird? I mean,
Yeah,
Okay.
instantly. So the way that patrols work, they go out in grids, and it really is designed to systematically search through buildings. And so you came into this block, either block on either side should have had people go through it. It looks so far, just traveling down a block or two, that your other patrols never made it even this far. Which is very weird.
does that make
Make a perception
me
check.
To
Does that feel like that the information we got was faulty, or they must have been stopped ahead of it?
it's 23.
With a 23, you do notice something that maybe Echo missed. And almost certainly they would have messaged something, because first, it's a glint that catches your eye as you're walking along. From the broken window, you take it at first to just be a jagged shard of glass, but it's metal. It's a hook. And it's suspended off of some kind of transparent line from the ceiling on the inside of a building, and there's something that is suspended from it. And so, do you go over closer to investigate it?
Wait. I look up?
Okay, you look up. It's a building.
I see.
Yeah, so right now it's hanging from the ceiling of the first floor of maybe like a 3 or 4 story building. Parts of it have collapsed in. It's brick at one point and glass. Most of the glass is broken in. Maybe it was a deli at one point, or maybe a bakery, something like that. But it looks like at some point somebody suspended something, almost like you might like a disco ball right from the ceiling, but there's a hook instead of any meaningful light. And something is hanging off of it, but in the shadows of that closed-in space, you can't really see from here.
Okay.
Can I follow his gaze?
Yeah,
Okay.
Do I see this?
What do you make of this?
What do I make of it?
make a perception check. Unless you like to get closer.
Oh, 33.
33.
Yay!
Damn, Kit. You have a custom rig. You flick on the flashlight, and it turns the flashlight on and illuminates that dark space. And you can see suspended from a little filament of what looks like almost fishing line, a jagged metal meat hook that is about 5 inches from tip to the other end. And off of it, there seems to be a bloody ring of flesh, almost perfectly cut, and a tiny little disc of bone in the middle that seems to recently have lost all of the marrow or internal structure to it. It is just a bloody ring suspended from a hook.
Is that cultist iconography?
Almost certainly. And I would say with that kit, you see behind, as the flashlight pans across the space, written into the wall with blood behind it, follow all the bloody rings and find yourself a joyful thing.
Boss.
I point this out to MT5.
That's called
I pointed out.
No, you point out to
Yeah.
MT5?
It's my 33, goddammit.
Alright.
Well, I pointed out to you, but I'm not like whispering or anything.
Okay.
So you said, what do you make of this? And I say what I make of it, and
This
everybody
is one
can
of
hear
the
it.
sites
Good
where
eyes,
we
kid.
encountered the Zonkuthon cultists. It appears that they have multiple obelisks like the one that we've destroyed here in the rest of the husk. I believe they were trying to do some sort of ritual.
Your PLA agents must be bait. This is a trap. We're gonna get to that car and you're not gonna find what you're looking for.
We're gonna find the pretty thing.
I mean, there's many possibilities. Anything could happen. I think we should just, be prepared for the worst. As we're walking, how close are we getting to the car? Have we made
You're about halfway at this point.
Okay,
And
so
Bruin,
halfway.
what everybody here is saying, all of this in your kind of veteran experience, it adds up. I mean, everything that you're hearing here, this weird kind of poetry in blood, all of this speaks to a trap. And 3 of the patrols have already gone missing, and it feels a lot like you are walking directly into one.
If we were to keep following this ring,
Yes, and well, not even follow it. So if you were to follow along the path, you imagine you'll probably find more of these. These were not designed to be seen by all of you. With a 33, Kit found it by happenstance. These are designed to guide other people who know to look for them along a path to somewhere else. Mosaic Team 5, some of you have heard of something called a Joy Clinic. This is a place where, well, I don't remember if you guys heard what it was about.
I believe we have. It's where the
people into.
Yeah. So a Joy Clinic
Not
is...
joyful at all.
It is a place where Zonkuthon cultists will take individuals who are selected to be chosen ones of Zonkuthon, generally citizens who are kidnapped, and their limbs are systematically removed along with different sensory organs, which they believe brings them closer to Zonkuthon, who is the god of pain, suffering, and torture. And create these things called joyful things, which are stitched together from a variety of different bodies, but typically have the torso and central nervous system of their kind of original donor. The process drives them to a sort of state where they can really only
Get off on pain.
no, it's much worse than that. So because of the way that the biology has been reassembled, they need to continuously eat to sustain the sort of activity that they are constantly producing. The metabolism is incredibly high to create these creatures. And so whatever they kill, they typically need to eat. And so typically they burn themselves out pretty fast, but they leave a trail of bodies in their wake.
And sorry, do I know this as well? Or is anybody saying it?
I would say that the Mosaic Team 5 knows this.
Yeah, I think
PLEA, you guys are
I'd
not.
point to the map that we actually, I believe Echo might have annotated that said the Joyous Rings as a location.
Yeah, so like PLEA, as far as you guys know, Zonkuthon cultists, a bunch of crazy guys getting together in these warehouses, and they do some robberies, and sometimes there's some blood left behind. They're probably animal sacrifices. The rest of you know that they're a little bit more sinister than
And
that.
Gibbs will tell you this, but also be like, I'm really burnt out already. Like, if we go into this knowing it's a trap, I can't keep any of you up. I have
this-
no resources.
is this ring a sign that the other plea agents that are here are probably dead?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask that to MT5, since they've been here longer than us.
They're either dead or...
If anybody wants to make a medicine or life sciences check as they approach this ring, they certainly
Oh,
can.
yeah, I do.
Your health cards.
Oh, life science? Oh, no, that's...
25.
Question.
25. The 25
I was about to
Gibbs,
do it, and I was like, no.
you get up to this, and using the light provided from Kit's sort of custom weapon, you can see, you kind of direct it up. Kit's really short. Even for you, Kit's one of the very few people that you've ever met in your life who is short, like, definitely shorter than you.
Whoa.
And so, like, yeah, you have to tell them, and it like feels kind of good.
Yeah.
But you look up, and you can kind of see that there is still blood just dripping off of this. This is very fresh.
This is very fresh.
As we're still walking, I'm going to message Echo in the group. And imagine since we're halfway, I'm going to just message Echo and be like, Echo, do you see the car or any of the surroundings near the car when we last left it that you recognize?
So, Echo, where you are, you're maybe like a block ahead, and you are at the intersection of Tile Street and Pulsar Avenue. You're about to turn onto the road that you need to go on. And there's kind of a choice here. So if you continue north, you're going to continue towards the car. And what everybody seems to be indicating, although you haven't really gotten a lot of this because you're ahead of the group, that you'll be heading towards the car. If you head to the east, you'll be heading towards the exit that is fractionally further away, but is just a straight shot along this avenue. And yeah, and as far as you know, there hasn't been like gunfire or anything like that. That's a clean way out.
Yeah, we just said we were going to lead them to the car. We don't have to go to the car.
That's true.
Can you? We're close to the car, friend. I would like to see that money, please. And she holds out her cred stick.
Okay.
Echo's gonna go to the car.
Okay.
You see where that android just went?
The assignment was to help us get the car and help us get out of here.
Oh no. We are here to get you to the car.
I believe.
And that is it.
No, because he's gonna help us get Brigitte the Hollow of the Husk out of here.
Yeah, but they can take
What were you trying to say, Captain?
I believe there was a misunderstanding. As I said before, we will help you locate where the patrol car was that we discovered. However, as I said, we need to get Brigitte to the PLEA office for apprehension. And then we need to get to the USR embassy. It is not my intention to engage with any more Zonkuthon cultists while we're here. My team is not prepared.
Okay. Alright, let me just message my CO, and so I want to call Pegasus, or maybe send a message and just ask him what the priority is, getting Brigitte and MT5 out of here or getting the car.
Okay.
Because it seems as though there is danger towards the car, so I just want...
No problem.
Let me assess my priorities.
I'm gonna text Echo that we are stalled.
So almost
take the car and
instantly, no
then
problem.
drive
So
it
you
out of
text
here.
Echo, and Echo, you like stop on your heel as Gibbs tells you that wait up. You get a incoming transmission from Pegasus, and picking that up, they will tell you. Sorry, they'll say. So let me get this straight. Going towards the car is almost certainly a trap. We're already down 3 patrols. We lost contact with one of the 2 SWAT teams that we sent in. We're not doing well. We're not in any shape to lose anybody. If that's the case, get the rest of Mosaic Team 5 and the Hulk of the Husk out of there.
Okay.
We'll rearm. We'll call in some mercenaries and we'll do another raid. But get them out of there. That's your new priority.
Okay. Officer Bruin out.
Goes down.
Alright.
You don't tell them
Thank you,
love
Captain.
them?
Huh?
You don't tell them you love them?
Gibbs absolutely tells you this.
You should always hang up your phone calls. You never know when that's the last time you're gonna talk to somebody. You should always say that you love them.
What if we don't?
Why would you be calling them? I don't know. I don't talk to people I don't love, I guess.
I would like
Captain Shade, thank you for your tactical assessment. Our priorities have changed. Our priorities are to get you and Brigitte out of here.
My priority
Go
is
to the car.
We don't need to go to the car.
you don't need to go to the car. But
mean,
we brought you
I
there,
would've done
so
it.
you owe me 5,000 credits, Bruin. She holds out her cred stick in your
Perhaps
face.
this is something that we can discuss with your superior officer.
Oh no, he's right here. He can give me the credits right now.
I can't give you the credit. The
Yes, you
agency
can.
gives you the credit.
Spice, we'll make sure they get the money.
I text Echo and I'm just like, change of plans. We're finding a door and leaving. No car. No car, no way.
No car, no way. A little sad rat Giphy.
I'm gonna, as this happened, just put a mark on the map where we're new location.
You get that message, Echo?
I believe the closest one is to the east was on the intersection of Tile Street, you said?
Correct.
Yes.
Or sorry,
Pulsar Ave.
Pulsar Avenue.
Pulsar Ave.
You have a better bearing of the place. We'll let you lead, and we'll provide combat assistance should it lead to it. We'll
Sorry,
take your
just-
lead on how to get out of here.
Just question: Did he get the 5,000 credits to give over, or did he?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean,
I misunderstood.
Kid
no,
is
it's
gonna be
okay.
like-
Technically, like if you went through this, it would be one of those things where he's like, I kind of told him he could do this, but all right, and like would go back, pull it from your discretionary spending, and then give it to them. It would be inconvenient for him. But like, if you pull this off, you're probably in a pretty good position anyway, so it's not really gonna matter.
Okay, so then in that case, I'm just gonna give you the credit.
Fuck yes!
Wait.
Got what I came for. I'm adding that to my
You could add
inventory.
5,000
Everybody.
credits
Wait.
to your personal.
Wait.
Okay.
I need some
inventory.
more, please.
What do you need, Gibbs?
Medicine,
Guys,
bandages.
we can split it up later.
Yeah, but
Let's-
you're a healer.
Tampons.
You free bleed. I know you.
Guys, can we?
If I knew that you were gonna bicker over this, I would have given it you later. Can we?
Echo,
be on
you were
our
trying-
way?
We're sorketing right now.
Let's walk. Yeah, we're gonna walk towards Paulson Street.
Are you returning to the group?
No,
After
I was
Gibbs?
gonna stay here.
Okay.
Forever.
No, I texted you. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
Okay. Good.
We're catching up to you. I get it.
Yeah.
So you wait for the group, and they catch up to you. And are you all heading off towards the exit of this place?
Yeah, trying to get to the PLEA drop office.
No problem.
Kit is walking very quickly.
Yeah, and that keeps you with pace with everybody else. So, as Kit breathes heavily, the rest of you just walk normal pace out, and you make your way, making pretty good time. Pulsar Avenue, being one of the avenues, is pretty large, pretty wide, and so even with you guys walking pretty carefully, there's a pretty good way that you can walk and be pretty clear of debris and possible traps. Who's leading?
Echo moves to speed walk in front of Kit, just like menacingly looking at her while like hustling along on her teeny tiny little legs, and just like takes like one big step and another big step and is like and leads the way.
There you go. Make a perception check. Take a -2 conditional modifier as
Why
we're
is that
making
one
eye
menacing?
contact with Kit.
No, she's not menacing. She's just, Echo. It's just how she does
Like a
things.
natural
They
20.
do-
Yay!
Okay.
With a natural 20 Echo on 3 different occasions. Over the next half an hour, as you successfully make your way out of the hollow house,
Yay!
Wow.
Best.
you find 3 different traps and manage to steer the party around. 2 of them, those very similar flashbang traps that Bubs had kind of mentioned previously, and one which unclear if it's a trap or not. It seems like at some point something, and there's a part of you, Echo, that wonders if maybe this is because of you or somebody in your party, but some event seems to have jolted the gas line underneath the street, and you can see exposed pipes at one point, and you get the sense that walking around this kind of street could puncture any loose places underneath. So you direct the group around that instead. And with no problem and a natural 20, you make your way out of the hollow house.
Where was that when I had a diplomacy check with
That
the
was-
director?
That was great.
I don't know. This feels kind of important.
I want to say the MVP for that is just Echo getting us out of the husk.
Right. The only conflict is the one we create ourselves.
Yes.
So you emerge into a district that is dominated by a lot of green light, and some of these districts are primarily kind of one light that really works well with certain species in terms of like their relation to their native homeworld. This place seems to be largely residential. There are a few places that are like open little parks that are very artificial, but it is real grass. And with the kind of urban sprawl and waste behind, it is a very clear delineation of these 2 zones. But you can make your way into what is Prime Station proper.
Nice.
No problem.
As we're doing
Station
this,
Prime.
I just want to message Steele and say, I would like to meet with you. I would like to meet with you later at some point.
Give me 1 second. Okay.
Can't
Well,
talk
they're-
now.
After the second menacing thing, Kit pulls out her communicator and starts Googling volunteer.
Damn. Okay, it worked.
You're walking, you're like, wow, I really have to do this. And you're like scrolling and you're like kind of turning your communicator
Right,
so like
like
Echo
hoping
can
Echo
see
knows.
that.
Animal shelters near me.
Excuse me, Echo? Any of these look good?
You might consider
And points out like 4 different ones
Get
on
a
a page
job.
of 5.
You
Get
might
a
consider
different
any
job.
of these.
Thank you, Echo. Ma'am, sir.
Bubbles.
Yep.
Oof.
You receive a message from Steel,
Yep.
who kind of responds, well, Bubbles, I have good news too. The council at the PLEA said I can go ahead and get a couple people together and look. So we're going to investigate this server, see what we can find. I'll let you know, okay? That's all you got.
I just give him thumbs up, and I'm just gonna say, don't go out and look. I want to see you before you leave.
He said, the response that you get back is, I really don't have time. Demp is coming back in from the field. There's a lot going on, and I guess you guys are really to thank for it. You're going to have a lot of people to talk to when you get back. Bubbles, I don't know if it's going to be all good or all bad, but I'm proud of you guys. Whatever it is that you did, it seems to have caused some problems, but I think you've probably helped a lot more people than you hurt. Probably.
That doesn't feel right.
So, that is a message that you get. The rest of you make your way out of the Hollow Husk. Are you all heading back to the embassy?
Is the embassy where we drop the captured?
That's where Peep told you to, yeah.
Okay, then yeah. Presumably Lieutenant Clark is there or something. Or
Yeah,
some,
sure.
like, authority that...
That would make a lot of sense. The embassy does have a lot of those people.
But, like, the PLEA office, is it there? Is that where they hold prisoners? I don't know.
Yeah, so you within the central kind of tower, the PLA central office is there as well.
Okay, then yeah.
It's
I guess
bottom-
we'd
bottom
head to
floors.
wherever it makes sense to drop off someone that we just captured for the PLEA.
Spice is going to like make a show out of being like, it was a pleasure working with you guys. We'll see you later, and hopefully we can work together soon.
Your
and she
captain
like,
has my contact info.
does he? That's fantastic. And she's gonna like shake both of your hands super awkwardly, like. All right, see you never. Bye.
And as they're walking away, Kit says, "Gosh, never meet your heroes, huh, boss?"
Oh shit.
I love the idea that Spice was a hero.
You chose wisely, sister. Do you want me to sign something? Because I can.
Oh yeah, here's
I
some
can sign-
paraphernalia.
Yeah. Spice she's gonna sign like your clothes. And you didn't ask, but she's gonna do
It's
it
your
anyway.
like uniform. Yeah.
Yeah, she like takes out like one of Gibbs's disgusting pens. Babe, can I borrow this? And she's going to like
What kind of celebrity, Spice?
So celebrity's a strong word.
anti-celebrity.
No,
It's a strong word.
no.
Yes.
So Spice is hang on one sec.
She's
With
more
my
infamous
niece.
than famous.
With my niece.
I got a lot
Would she
of
be a niece to my-
Infosphere's
She would be a
followers.
celebrity
She's
to my
not
niece.
Taylor
Does your
Swift.
niece,
She's more
does your
like
niece follow Bounty News?
Like Octomom.
like
even worse.
reality TV
No.
star
Okay, then-
trash.
Like Dog the Bounty
like,
Hunter,
yes.
but so much worse.
Yeah,
So in
exactly like that.
In Mosaic Team 5, in this universe, there is something called the Bounty Hunter Reliability Index. 0 on this index is considered perfect. It requires a calendar year without deductions on bounties. The bottleneck, if you fail an objective in a given year, the lowest that you can get is 0221. It's kind of the closest perfect that any bounty hunter typically gets to. Anybody under 1500 is considered a serious level bounty hunter. If you're ranked below 1000, you're considered superior. Below 500 is elite. And so Spice isn't like a celebrity amongst bounty hunters. Mosaic Team 5 currently, you would know, is ranked in the 1500s. And so, not super high. I think Spice is probably, unfortunately, best known for a mishap in an interview with TJ of TJ's Bounty Board.
Any news is good news.
All right, well, I'll see you guys later.
Where are you going?
Oh, who are you
I
talking
thought I was saying
you
to
were
be-
talking to us.
I literally was like, where are you
We dropped
going?
them off.
PLE agents have just adopted Bubbles.
Have we
Bye.
completed like the transfer of the prisoner?
Sure. So if you guys want, you guys actually have a car, so you can bring them. Sorry, you can bring them to the embassy because none of these guys brought a vehicle.
Oh,
course they
okay.
didn't.
Yeah,
All right,
we have a
well,
car. You
We can drop you off.
I'll sit on your lap.
So yeah, it is a little close, and so you don't need to lap up. But Gibbs definitely tries, and you have to kind of like get Gibbs up because Gibbs is bigger than you.
Gibbs is bigger than me and so stinky. So
Yeah, for you guys, so Mosaic Team 5 used to Gibbs, but in confined quarters, as soon as you close the door, all the windows like immediately down. Everybody's very
these are nice.
aware of Gibbs. But you hit the road, you make your way onto the highway and towards this massive tower that sits towards the aft of the station. Excuse me. Dropping them off outside of this kind of structure, you all would want to report to the PLEA offices, which are on the 3rd floor. You can bring Brigitte to this group. Excuse me, I have like air stuck in my throat.
A frog.
Yeah.
A rat.
It's a rat in my throat.
Good.
And for the rest of you, you know that the USR embassy, I believe, is on the 6th floor. I have to double check.
So we drop Brigitte off.
we drop Brigitte off.
You're kind of giving them to drop off because they're the people that you drop them off
What do we
with.
give? Oh, we.
Is this your first time handing in a bounty alive?
I mean,
Yeah, normally we just give a box of
beat
pieces.
cop. We don't have to bring it to like.
So we're at
so the PLEA are not beat cops in that like so they're called agents for a reason. They do have more power and kind of
I just want to make sure we're proper.
yes, this
Following
okay.
the proper protocol.
is proper protocol.
Whatever it
So
looks
they'll
like.
hand them to us in the embassy, and we'll hand them to the.
We don't need
bounty
to, like,
drop
Do we
off.
like
exit
give them like a
interview,
receipt
We
or
don't need,
something?
like, a-
Yeah.
Code check like tag.
It's not a coat check tag.
Carbon
No.
pad, like in your other pocket.
Yeah.
So
You see, Brigitte is alive.
in 2250, because all of you have communicators, you're able to do things like bank transfers. I don't know if you've ever used iPhones, but similar kind of prospect. They can transfer instantly to you, no problem.
What was the bounty for the Hulk?
1 second.
Was
And,
it? It was.
and am I
So it
authorized
was.
to transfer those funds?
Surely
You
with-
are.
with
You're
enough
authorized to do
evil people
5,000
we
credits
can
on the
make it
spot.
happen.
The other transfer is going to go to Mosaic LLC,
I see.
and that will probably happen almost instantly. These guys are not going to see it.
All right.
That goes to my bank account that I then get from my boss. That he gets from his bank account.
It goes to
I mean, that makes
corporate,
sense.
which goes to payroll, which goes to
They have a
accounts
lot of
payable to
debt
dispatch
pay
to
off,
you. It's a
so they
it's a
usually
process.
take a lot of it off the top and then give us the crumbs at the end of the day.
So United
think this
Solar
costs us
Republic
anything.
has an embassy floor on the 6th floor. This is also the same building home to the PLA offices on the 3rd. This has many different embassies within it. The Castrovillian Council, the Barrier High Collective, the Confederation of Volcaria. All these different places have offices here, but you guys make your way to where you have a room, Mosaic Team 5, in the United Solari Republic Embassy Suite. And in doing so, give me 1 second here.
So do you guys want to like come celebrate or what?
I know, that's great.
They're breaking off to bring
yeah.
this bounty in.
Just us.
You guys are now Mosaic Team 5 making
We're
your way
on
to the
we're on
embassy.
3rd floor and have completed our guest character mission.
After we hand it in, I just want to say last thing to Kit, rookie. See a lot of rookies on their first day in the job. Most of them forget to turn off the safety off their firearm, but you did a good job. That was a really nice shot you took.
Thanks, boss. I think I might try volunteering.
And as Mosaic Team 5 opens the door to their embassy kind of series, well, actually, you have a couple different rooms. And so the first room that you come upon is the one that I believe Gibbs and Echo are sharing.
Probably.
Echo technically
Echo
doesn't
wasn't
have a
there.
room.
Yeah, you've been allotted 2 rooms, and I actually don't think I think only one of you have been in a room.
Yeah, I feel
Echo
I
didn't really enter the
Yeah.
residence.
Echo, yeah.
Yeah.
Echo
I feel
was
like
laying
Bubbles
low.
and
Yeah,
Spice had a
Spice.
room
Right,
because
right,
we
right, right.
were getting ready to go out
then-
dancing, but then we didn't end up
I
going
had been
dancing.
talking to
team
Keith
workers?
in the room that he had set up in.
Watch it.
So then you can open up
Watch your
the one that Spice and Bubbles have already kind of accessed. And in doing so, you open it up. Lights already on in this room. Beautiful space. But it's not on because that's an automatic function. There are people here. But because it's 9:30, a good place to
I
stop.
want to sleep in my bed.
This is
been a long 3 days.
It's 1:35 in the morning right now. So yes, if you're tired, this is where we're going to end for the evening. So thank you for joining us for this session of Mosaic Team 5. We'll be back
Thank you
next
for joining
week.
us.
Yeah, big thank you to Vincent and Hannah
Team
for
over
joining
here.
us as guest players for 2 weeks in a row.
I tried to. Don't get me wrong.
I know.
I wanted to.
I know. Yeah, earlier on, yeah, there was like in the
ready
group
to.
text, there was if we have to do PvP, it's got to happen. But yeah, it ended up working out.
But now you can go back.
Yeah. Well, so this worked out perfectly because there will be this year a Mosaic Team 5 one shot, which will be PLEA raiding the final Zon-Kuthon warehouse. And so we now probably know who will be leading it because we have qualified agents, the only 2 that returned.
And you know so much about Zon-Kuthon.
Is Kit gonna like turn into a zombie because of that little cut she got?
No. That's literally like
addiction.
that's literally like, oh man, I could like you don't know what medication was in there. You don't know like what. So that's a biohazard issue.
I'm just an addict. Damn it.
Yeah, it's a Gosha thing. But we're gonna be back next week. If you can't wait that long, we are going to be playing D&D 5th edition, our original D&D campaign, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Matt will be there. Vincent will be there. Hannah will be there. Huh?
I'm not there tomorrow.
You aren't?
No.
Going to Vegas.
No.
Going to, oh, right.
But Carol will be there.
Carol will be here. We're going to have Alana joining us, Tina joining us. It's going to be a whole other cast of people. That's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then this re-airs on Sunday on YouTube at Alberon RPG. But please stay safe. We'll see you next week.
See
Goodbye.
you, space boyfriend.